Sports West, the heart of the fan.
Greatness knows no time. To those operating on a different plane, it is just a concept, an illusion, a flat circle. Genius adheres to no clock. Virtuosity is not bound by its constraints. But no matter your astral plane, we hope you set an alarm. Because here on Earth, it may be early, but it's showtime.
No, this is not the Twilight Zone. We are actually on the air at 7:30 in the morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Angels Live. Angels, Red Sox getting ready to wrap up this four-game series from Boston, and it is Patriots Day. That is why we're on the air so early. They're going to run the Boston Marathon this morning. They're getting all the arrangements set, ready to go. It's a little damp outside, but nothing is going to dampen Shohei Ohtani making the start. The Angels need Shohei to be showtime more than ever. They've dropped the first three to the Red Sox, hoping not to get swept out of Fenway before they have to go play. Yes, the New York Yankees. This is the second start of his career in the hallowed Fenway Park. Last time, 7 shutout innings, 11 strikeouts. How about 29 swings and misses? Hey, everybody, how's it going? Ken French, that is Bobby Valentine.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. We're going to speak very slowly this morning. As everyone wakes up, we hope you are having your cup of coffee, getting your kids to school, whatever it may be. But please, sit down, listen to some Angels Live over the next half an hour, because this is Show Day coming to you from Fenway Park. And Bobby, when you look at the schedule and you see Shohei going to start, even though it's a morning game, you got to be excited for Halo fans, for the Halo players. They need their ace to be their ace today.
Yeah, and just have his fastball. You know, he's been working on that and working on his split along with the fastball. His sweeper has been terrific. His cutter's been great. But I think with the fastball, you're going to see a lot of swings and misses and a lot of zeros on the scoreboard.
Yeah, he's got a .47 ERA this season in 3 starts. This is Shohei Ohtani, what he's been able to do. Very impressive. 18 strikeouts, 7 walks, getting it done. And tell me, Bobby, when Shohei Ohtani, he's so methodical. We know exactly his preparation. How long does it take him to find his groove? Is he still working on things this early in the season?
I think he's still working on some of the feel for the pitches, especially for his split. You know, he needs to have that callus inside of his finger, and so you haven't seen a lot of split fingers thus far, and you've seen a lot of sweepers and not as many four-seam fastballs, and that's all because the callus needs to build up on his fingers, and I don't think it's really there yet.
For as calm, cool, and collected as Shohei Ohtani is deep inside, does he get excited to pitch on the mound at Fenway Park? I mean, the last time he was there, it was phenomenal what he was able to do. We built it up. That's where Babe Ruth was. That's where Babe Ruth hit and pitched, and Ohtani has obviously been mixed in that conversation ever since he came to the big leagues.
Yeah, I think he likes to show wherever he is. And, you know, this idea of playing 11 o'clock games, I get tradition and I get New England. I'm from Connecticut. But why shouldn't this be a night game? Let's face it, that he has to get up at 5 in the morning to start his preparation for an 11 a.m. game. It's not really that fair for a visiting player.
Let's show you how good Shohei Ohtani is, just in case if you don't believe us. We're going to show you a graphic here. This is the last 10 starts. 2 or fewer earned runs in every start. Look at that, 7-1, a .84 ERA. Has not allowed a long ball. The opponent's just hitting 137 against Shohei Ohtani. And everything, when I watch Shohei, and I guess what stands out to me is you have a book, you have video on all these pitchers. You can't have a book on Shohei Ohtani.
No, you know, when you see what he's done in the past, the percentage of pitches that he's thrown, they are out the window. Today's a new day. And, you know, what we're going to see today is his routine is a routine. He likes to be methodical about what he does in his preparation. Not only is this 11 o'clock game, but this game might be delayed by rain during the game, before the game. And so the great athletes learn to adjust as they go along. This is going to be an adjustment day for him.
Let's see what Shohei Ohtani has done at Fenway Park, both at the plate and on the mound. We go back to May 14th, and Shohei Ohtani going the other way over the green monster. Hopefully we see some of that today. We go to the 16th, 2021, and he's going to hook it inside pesky pole. And then Shohei Ohtani doing what he does best, of course, at the plate. Does that, and the same day, Bobby, he is on the mound. 11 strikeouts. Oh, by the way, he hit his number in the green monster there. That was
knocked his number off. Yeah. He's
then
amazing.
He has 11 strikeouts, 29 swings and misses. And it's fun to watch this stuff because this is unhuman-like stuff that we're watching. And it's storybook stuff. I mean, for him to hit his number off the wall in the green monster, I mean, that stuff, it just doesn't happen.
No. Not many guys can hit the ball as hard as he does to the opposite field and also hit the ball hard to the pull side. You saw him hitting home runs, right field and left field. You know, his bat will play today. A couple of the guys are not in the lineup. So, you know, I really think this is going to be a Shohei, we need you, make it happen kind of day.
Yeah, and you think Shohei Ohtani, does he get wrapped up? But we talked about the history, the hype every time he goes to Fenway Park, but he seems to perform. He loves it. Take a look at this. Most strikeouts without a walk by a visiting player at Fenway Park. Look at the players he is involved in here. How about 11 strikeouts without a walk, and that's a pretty good company for Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, anytime you could be on a list with Stan Bonson, you are in good company. Now that's a great list with Roger at the top. You know, his control hasn't been this impeccable thus far this year, and you don't want to put anybody on base at Fenway Park with 4 balls. So hopefully he'll be able to hit that strike zone as well as hitting the radar gun.
When you have a guy like Shohei Ohtani in the mound, does it take some pressure off the offense to score runs, knowing that you're going to have a guy holding the opposition? Is that a fair statement to say?
Well, you know, usually when that ace goes out, the team doesn't score because they feel like they don't have to score. I like to switch that switch. When Nolan Ryan pitched for my teams, when Al Leiter pitched for teams I managed, and the ace was out there, I used to try to put my best lineup out there so that we scored plenty of runs in a must-win situation. This is not a must-win, but it's a must-win.
Must-win, especially before they head to New York. Very well said there, especially at 7:30 in the morning. Okay, we're going to take our first time out here on Angels Live, coming at you from Santa Monica. When we do come back, though, we're going to get some sound. Yeah, we're going to hear about Shohei Ohtani. Matt Moore, one of the relievers, he played in Japan. He's got some comments about Shohei and much more about Showtime at Fenway Park this morning in Game 4 of this 4-game set.
I'm breaking down MLB Play. I think they're the best MLB games. Now, my personal favorite, Beat the Streak. Pick who you'll think will get a hit, building your own streak. It's all on you, baby. You can win $5.6 million. The streak's alive! Next up, Pickle. Guess the player in the fewest number of tries. Got him! And there's other games like Bingo, a race to be first. Bingo! MLB Play. Great games, great prizes, and it's all free. No purchase necessary. Restrictions apply. See official rules and enter at MLB.com/play. Oh, yeah!
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game. Right here on MLB Network.
I'ma do what? That's on me. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do what? That's on me. But I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Didn't want that shit, but that's on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
as we get you set for some Angels baseball on Patriots Day in Boston. It's a tradition that's been going on for what seems forever, and the runners are out there, rain or shine, they're ready to go. We are ready to go for some Angels baseball as we welcome you back inside our Santa Monica studios. Ken French, that is Bobby Valentine. Matt Moore was signed in February of this year to add some relief, if you will, to the bullpen. The lefty, he's come in and he's been impressive every time in every situation they've put him out there thus far. I've been impressed with what he's been able to bring to that bullpen.
Yeah, a left-hander who can get right-handers out because he has such a good changeup. His stuff is really working now. His fastball is popping, his curveball is breaking, and his changeup, as you see right there, can be thrown in all counts, and you get a lot of swing and misses.
This is a guy that played in Japan for a season, too, and he was a starter there. He can start, he can come in relief, but obviously he is going to be in the bullpen for the Angels this year. Where do you like him when it comes to that bullpen? Phil Nevin still trying to find that perfect order on guys out of that pen. Where do you like him?
Oh, I think you'll see him closer to the end of the game than he's pitched thus far this year. You know, he's pitched in big innings this year, the few times he's been in there, but I think he's going to be a 7th, 8th, and even sometimes 9th inning pitcher.
Hey, you know, and this is Shohei Day, of course, and so Matt Moore pitched in Japan. He faced Shohei, and he obviously has a good understanding of the fandom and the stardom that is Shohei Ohtani in Japan. So Erica Weston caught up with him earlier this morning.
Feeling better as we go. You know, I think just getting with a new group, you know, can take a couple games to kind of shake off the nerves and the different settings, but it's starting to feel a lot more normal, and you know, it feels good.
You have been in this league for quite some time. You still get the nerves when it comes to joining a new group?
Yeah, definitely. It's, you know, it usually kind of shakes off in spring training, but you know, with a lot of the guys playing in the WBC this year, you know, first couple weeks I think we're still, you know, gelling and, you know, kind of getting to know each other, but it's, you know, this road trip for us is, you know, can be a good one for us.
You were pivotal out of the pen the other day. What is the dynamic like with the group down there? It seems like you guys kind of all know when you're going to be coming into the game.
Kinda. Not, you know, it hasn't been quite like that. You know, Carlos has had kind of the 9th inning, but other than that, it feels like, you know, there's 3 or 4 of us kind of from the 6th to the 8th. So I think as we get going, we'll kind of probably, you know, fit into a lane here or there, but it's been good so far.
You spent some time in 2020 playing over in Japan. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Yeah, I think there's a really good chance we were going to go back, actually, you know, that following year. But I think just with the virus and the way things were going with the border restrictions, but I really enjoyed it. My team over there, you know, we won a championship, and I still have a good relationship with my interpreter, so it was, I enjoyed it.
Shohei had been in the States for a few years before 2020. What was your knowledge of him when you were playing over in Japan?
At that point, I had faced him, you know, already in 2018, but, you know, just knowing, you know, what type of player he was cool to see. You know, he played here in Sapporo, and kind of get to hear some of this, you know, some of the things that he did over there. I didn't realize he played over there for as long as he did, you know, being as young as he was coming over here. Just a legend in the making, that guy.
Yeah, now you're sharing the clubhouse with him. What's that experience been like?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel fortunate to, you know, just have, you know, hopefully someday in the future be able to tell my kids about it, and, you know, to see him go about his business, and yeah, it's cool.
Matt Moore, a SoftBank Hawk. You familiar?
Oh, absolutely. He's the southernmost part of Japan, and, you know, Ohtani was in the northernmost part of Japan, and he played on a very good team in a great stadium and had a good experience.
In your experience, when players go to Japan and come back, what do they take from that time in Japan?
Well, often it's a little more work there. And so, you know, you're not going out and doing the things that you usually do with family and friends when you're at home. You go to work and you work on your skills. And you know, batting practice is an hour long, and or 2 hours long, actually, because they do it in 2 cages. And the pitching practice is laborious, and you deal with balance and feel and video and scouting. So there's a little more work that's put into the profession there, and I think guys come back a better product.
As a pitcher, do they do the same thing from a work ethic standpoint? Are they pitching a lot, working on their craft as much as the hitters are?
Yeah, I think they throw a lot more, whether you're a gaijin, which is a foreigner in Japan, or a native, that the in-between sessions, the times that they play catch, and then again, those nuances of balance and rhythm are all worked on in a very specific way. So I think guys get better if they don't burn out.
Absolutely. Good on Matt Moore, and thanks for joining us this morning, and thank you to Erica Weston as always as we take another time out here on the program, coming at you from our Santa Monica studios. When we do come back, though, take a guess at what we're talking about. Yep, it's Shohei Ohtani Day, coming at you from Boston, the 4th and final game of this series with the Boston Red Sox. We're going to talk about the show because it must go on. Got some StatCast 3D next.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
From a very rainy Fenway Park. The tarp is on the field. No official word yet. Hoping that we first pitch will start on time, but certainly we will keep you posted as this one develops. Sure hasn't stopped the runners. The Boston Marathon is off and running on Patriots Day as you welcome me inside our studio here in Santa Monica. Ken French, that is Bobby Valentine. When we talk about Shohei Ohtani, it's not necessarily his arsenal, it's how he's going to use the arsenal. What part of his arsenal, Bobby, is he going to use on a given day? Because if something is working, he'll stay with it. The percentages will go up for that particular type of pitch. I think that's why it's so tough to figure him out, right? On a daily basis, you don't know what he's going to stick with.
Exactly, French. Yeah, hitters like to predict, guess, if you will, have an understanding, and Shohei throws you off, not only with his ability to throw quality different types of pitches, but also with his ability to throw them in any count. You know, a split can be the first pitch, a curve ball could be the last pitch. Fastball's a key to make it all work, and you know, I saw that rain in that lousy old ballpark. There's no place to warm up. There's no place to hang out. It's really a lousy feeling right now for a visiting team, not being out on the field in these really cramped, old, dingy Fenway Park clubhouses.
So you don't like it?
No.
All right. You know what? This is what I want the Boston hitters to do. Why don't you sit back and watch this video? So if you think he can hit Shohei Ohtani, think again. Check this out on the play sense. We're going to go fastball up 98 miles an hour. Bobby, tell me if you can hit this.
Well, it's a fastball up, and then the curveball kind of goes into that same section of your eyesight, and it's a 70-plus mile-an-hour curveball. It'll throw a two-seamer that runs in on a right-hander and away from a left-hander at 93 and 4 miles an hour, and then off of that, he'll throw the sweeper, which is a new pitch, which is like a slider, but it breaks even more than a slider in a horizontal movement. He's a master of those pitches. You see the splitter is a slow percentage, and that's because you need that callus built up on the inside of your finger, and that comes later in the season. You might see it today if, in fact, there's enough of, moisture in the air and there's not a real dry feeling for the blister to occur.
That's just 7 pitches. Who knows what he's working on right now, right? So when we look at Shohei Ohtani, and you're so good at this with your experience in the game for as long as you've been part of it, is tipping pitches. When a pitcher obviously is telling the opposition what he's going to throw, but with Shohei Ohtani and his delivery, do you see anything? It seems like everything looks the same. The arm slot looks the same.
Again, we mentioned Japan. In Japan, for years, they've had a coach who would study video of both the opposition and the home team to see if there's anything different happening. Now there's computer programs that actually tell you if the movements are different on different pitches and alert the player on the offense as well as the defense as to whether or not you're tipping pitches.
And Shohei Ohtani has been in that film room since a very young age, perfecting his craft. As we do take the time out here on Angels, live from our Santa Monica studios on a beautiful morning here in Southern California. Not so beautiful though in Boston, but you know what? Cheers! It's Patriots Day. Have another, because we're going to talk about Shohei next.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big-name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans
and baseball players wake up to.
Show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh. Boston strong, absolutely. Today is the Boston Marathon. The runners out and running in the rain as we're getting ready for a little baseball. The tarp is out. No official word yet if we're going to be in delay or not. So
business as usual for us here in Santa Monica. Ken French, that is Bobby Valentine. Let's find out what type of lineup Phil Nevin's going to put out on the field here this morning in Boston. A little bit different look here is we have no Anthony Rendon and no Mike Trout.
Yeah, I guess they collect the passports before the game, and anybody over 30 years old gets the morning off. I guess it's something like that.
Of course they do. Why not? Well, there's a couple other guys that could be suspect. They might have some fake passports that are in that lineup that shouldn't be. Zach Neto, though, the top of the lineup, looking for his first big league hit. So far, do you like him at the top of the lineup, and do you think that's a place he could stay for this club?
I think eventually he's going to be, up in the top of the lineup. He's a very good offensive player. And I think leading off, if that's where he's comfortable, you need to create a little comfort with a young player. Playing in Fenway Park and then Yankee Stadium off the tip probably isn't that comfortable because it's a new experience, but Zach's going to perform.
Bobby, who are you looking to break out in this lineup when you look up and down and who we see today? I know Brandon Drury is a guy that would like to see, raise his average a little bit here.
Yeah, Drury's definitely due, and Taylor Ward hasn't been Taylor Ward for the last week. He has a little rhythm mechanism that he needs to get right, and hopefully today's the day that he does.
Hunter Renfroe, thus far, do you like him right and square in the middle of that lineup, either batting 4th or 5th?
Yeah, he's a guy who could put 3 runs up on the board real quickly, and you'd like to see a couple guys on base every time he's up.
Shohei Ohtani, we talked about the doldrums of Fenway Park and how it's a tough place to warm up. What do you need to see from Shohei when we do see him on the mound that shows you he is ready to go?
Well, I'm hoping there's really good footing on the mound, so there's no slippage at all. And I hope there's a timing factor. I hope it could start on time, or at least they give him the right time to prepare.
All right, we have prepared you hopefully enough here on this morning before the Angels take to the field against the Boston Red Sox on Patriots Day as the rain is coming down, and hopefully we're going to have some baseball on time. It's all about Angels and Red Sox with Gooby and Wayne, and it's coming at you on the other side.
Heavy-duty pulling power.
MLB The Show Legend Line. Ready to play?
Let's get it.
Come on. Nice.
That was sick.
Man, you like that? Check out the new Storylines mode where you can play as one of the Negro League baseball legends.
Your voice sounds familiar. Do I know you?
Just call me the captain.
Rated E for everyone.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
showtime. To those operating on a different plane, it is just a concept, an illusion, a flat circle. Genius adheres to no clock. Virtuosity is not bound by its constraints. But no matter your astral plane, we hope you set an alarm. Because here on Earth, it may be early, but it's showtime. Well, there's rain in our astral plane right now. It might be marathon weather here in Boston, but not quite baseball weather. The tarp is on the field ahead of Game 4 in this 4-game series between the Angels and the Boston Red Sox. Alongside Mark Ubaza, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and we certainly expect to have baseball today, especially the last game of this series, the Angels' only trip to Boston, which means we do expect Shohei Ohtani to be on the mound here at Fenway.
Yeah, Wayne, the perfect guy to have on the mound, especially when you lose the first 3 games of the series against the Red Sox. He's been so good being that stopper. His stuff outstanding. When you look back what he's done over his last 10 starts, 2 or fewer runs every single start, 7-1 record, an ERA 0.84, no home runs allowed, and a whip of 0.83. So not a lot of traffic against him, and he's throwing the ball exceptionally well this season again in 3 starts. 2-0 with an ERA at 0.47, a whip. Even though he's had some walks so far this year, still a whip under 1, with his only giving up 6 hits in 19 innings, also with 24 strikeouts. So the sweeper has been very good, the splitter has been good, and also will throw his curveball in there. He's touched 101 miles per hour. Just a creative one when he goes out there with his stuff, and he's able to dominate no matter who's facing him in the lineup.
He had a great start here last year. Had a big game against the Red Sox at Fenway. 7 scoreless innings last May on the mound against the Red Sox. We'll see if he can duplicate that here today. You know, it's 8 in the morning in California, so at least a rain delay lets you drink the milk out of the bowl after your cereal or finish your pancakes, whatever you're doing right now. Ahead of the Angels and the Red Sox today, Ken French and Bobby Valentine will be back from the studio in just a moment.
Games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network. The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network.
Wondering how you stack up? Well, get ready to bring your best stuff to MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run. The official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Sign up for free for a chance to play your way to the 2023 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals at the World Series. Visit pitchhitrun.com today.
To those operating on a different plane, it is just a concept, an illusion, a flat circle. Genius adheres to no clock. Virtuosity is not bound by its constraints. But no matter your astral plane, we hope you set an alarm. Because here on Earth, it may be early, but it's showtime. Showtime is upon us indeed here at Fenway Park. It's the finale of this four-game series between the Los Angeles Angels and the Boston Red Sox. There is Shohei Ohtani, 10 straight starts, allowing 2 or fewer earned runs. That's an Angels record. A 0.84 ERA in those outings, 0.47 in his first 3 starts of 2023. Alongside Mark Gubiza, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and Gooby, we've seen Shohei at his best lately.
Go back to his last 10 starts, 2 or fewer earned runs over every one of those starts, and an ERA 0.84. Opponent's batting average 137, a whip of 0.83. It's been that dominant. His fastball, his sweeper, his slider, his splitter, his curveball, his cutter, sinker, you name it, Shohei Ohtani has got that working over that 10-game stretch, and he's carried it into this season so far. 3 starts, an ERA 0.43. Opponent's batting average 100 and a whip. Even though he's had some walks early on this season, he's been dominant, especially with guys in scoring position. A whip of 0.95. Touch 101 miles an hour, and that sweeper, he's thrown a lot of them, has been devastating.
There he is. He's ready. He's got Ippei. He's got Logan O'Hoppe, and this will be Shohei Ohtani's second year in a row pitching here at Fenway. Last year, he was brilliant. 7 scoreless innings, 10 strikeouts last May here at Fenway Park. Of course, with Shohei Ohtani, you get a lot of glitz and glamour. The guy's a movie star at the end of the day. And for more, here's Erica Weston.
Thanks very much, Wayne. If you needed any indication of what kind of traveling party accompanies Shohei Ohtani, all you had to do was see the crowd that was outside of Fenway yesterday. Dozens and dozens of fans lined up waiting to catch a glimpse of Shohei Ohtani departing the ballpark, which is absolutely no surprise because that is the scene that we saw last year when we were departing Fenway Park as well. Look at all those fans. And if you wonder, how do you know they're there for Shohei? Well, that sign right out front, that hot pink one, it says Ohtani. The guy is an icon. He's a rock star. Wayne, you put it best. There is nothing like Shohei Ohtani in baseball.
Well, you know, I don't know if he got on the bus yesterday because he probably slept here with this early game that we were supposed to have. This one starting a bit later. You know, this is the second time the Angels have played on Patriots Day here at Fenway, and both times there was a rain delay. The last time in 2007 was the famous pizza toss day, and B, they had a 10:05 scheduled first pitch that day, that morning. Ended up being much later because of a rain delay.
Yeah, this time of the year back east, obviously you deal with some cold, you may even deal with some snow, but today a little bit of drizzle. It looks like the game is going to be on time, and it didn't really mess up the routine of Shohei Ohtani. A lot of times if you have a delay like that when he's already warmed up, he knew exactly what was happening as far as his routine, as far as the weighted baseballs to get ready. I expect another dominant performance for Shohei. He was incredible here last year and has thrown the ball well throughout his career against the Red Sox. 3-1 with a 2.35 ERA for Shohei.
Shohei Ohtani at Fenway Park, one of the greatest players in one of the greatest yards, and Shohei has had some good moments here. An opposite field home run over the monster. How about last May? An absolute rocket just inside a pesky pole down the right field line at Fenway Park. And we can't forget Shohei knocking his own number off the board at Fenway. His own number 17 dropping down as Shohei Ohtani banged one off the monster. And then the 10 strikeout performance last year could be something he hopes to duplicate here today.
Amazing, though. They hit a home run over the Green Monster, then hit a go-ahead game-winning home run by pesky pole in right field, and then drive one off your number in left field, too. Incredible.
Irvine Auto Center gives us the Angels lineup today. Zach Neto leading off, still looking for his first major league hit. Ohtani's batting second. Both Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon are not in the Angels lineup today. Now, one thing we've learned about Phil Nevin over the last few days is that he really respects a lot of the great coaches across sports guys like Nick Saban and Bill Belichick and Greg Popovich, and he talked about how Popovich used to give his Spurs stars the same day off, so that, you know, if you were going to have one guy out, instead of having it spread out where you have one star out for 3 straight days, well, you just have 3 out at once, and that's kind of the reason why he has gone with Trout and Rendon not in the lineup. Is that Theo Epstein next to Phil Nevin?
Yeah, it is Theo Epstein. Having a quick conversation with Phil Nevin.
Theo Epstein's got his hands all over Major League Baseball, including the hour and 57-minute game we had here yesterday, one of the shortest Angels games in the last 25 years. It was the shortest game at Fenway since 1989. And here's Brayan, one of the top prospects for the Red Sox on the mound, making his first start this year.
Bello does have a power running fastball, 94, 99. He'll throw a changeup, slider, occasional curveball, but good changeup too.
And we are underway as Zach Neto swings through the sinker from Brayan. 6'1", 170 pounds. They say his build reminds them all of Pedro Martinez. And the stuff does too.
And my go-to to have success against Bello here this afternoon or this morning. Success versus his fastball, 368 home run allowed last year. Don't chase the out of zone changeup. He gets a lot of chases with his changeup, especially if he's got that sinker working on the lower third.
Well, it's afternoon here now, but still morning in Southern California.
He's a high energy guy on the mound too. So he's going to be very active as far as, you know, going out and attacking hitters. So you got to slow that down and force him to struggle early on here.
He actually spent some time in the Dominican Republic this offseason with Pedro. And Pedro said afterward he wishes that he was as talented when he first arrived in the big leagues as Brayan is right now.
He's just being humble. There was not many pitchers ever as good as Pedro Martinez.
There's his number 45, and there's the first strikeout of the day for Brayan. Zach Neto goes down looking.
That's 97 with some movement.
One out. Here's Shohei Ohtani, the starting pitcher for the Angels today, bats second. And he pitched here last year. He had a base hit in that game. And he's got a base hit in this game. A line drive single for Shohei. The first hit today for the Angels.
That's your starting pitcher hitting second in the lineup. Lines a single for a base hit. Had his streak of getting on base and snapped yesterday at 36. But right away brought his hands in on that fastball and lines it right center.
Roger Clemens had a base hit in a game he started here in 1996 for some reason. It's been since then that a starting pitcher had a base hit in a game in this ballpark until Ohtani last year. Now Ohtani does it again today as Taylor Ward bats third today and looks at a strike from Bello.
Exit velocity on that hit for Shohei, 105.6 miles per hour. That's the guy that's going to be on the mound in the bottom of the first with a jacket on today at first base. Going old school pitching.
It's brisk here in Boston today.
Just really finishing up his warm-up tosses down in the bullpen. He goes right in and swings the bat. It's a rocket for a hit, and then he's got the jacket on.
We were told that if we had the window open in the booth, we can't complain about the cold weather, but it's cold. We have to have the window open. We can't see.
We can't even say it's a dry cold here today because it's pretty cold and a little bit of mist in the rain.
And the Boston Marathon is being run as we speak. It has already been completed by several participants. You know, the actual professional runners have already whizzed by.
Pretty amazing what completed that in 2 hours and 6 minutes or something.
Yeah, about 2:05 for the winner today.
It took me about that long to get from the team bus up here to the booth. That's a pretty good slider. Wow, that's a good spot too. Good take. Nothing you could do with it as a hitter and Taylor Ward on that one.
Same guy who won last year's Boston Marathon won this year's. Oh, Taylor Ward gets hit by a 95-mile-an-hour fastball on a cool day. He'll take his base, and Ohtani will go to second.
I sure hit 2 batters. With that running fastball, you're going to see him hit a lot. They got him right in that tricep area. Whew. cool day like today, running fastball, a little protection, but you're still feeling that.
Here's Hunter Renfroe.
Batters hit .394 against Bello last year on the first pitch. Slugging over 500, 515 first pitch.
Renfroe's had a good start. He's swung the bat well. He's hit the ball hard pretty consistently to begin the year. Brayan Bello last year has pretty good ground ball rate. He could use a ground ball here. 55% ground ball rate last season for Bello in his first big league taste. Renfroe, though, hits it high in the air, deep to left, headed beyond the monster. 3-run homer, Hunter Renfroe. The Angels strike early against Brayan Bello, and they've got the lead here at Fenway.
Well, you can't ask a better recipe to get things going. And Hunter Renfroe, 3-run home run. You talk about a swing for this ballpark. His 4th home run now, 14 stakes on the season. Single by Shohei, hit by pitch, and then a 3-run home run. Somewhere upstairs, Earl Weaver saying that's a perfect baseball play. 3-run home run. Fastball runs in, didn't get that action on it. Sink actually was looking for the ground ball, like you said, Wayne, but that flattened out and he was ready and lifts it out. 3-run home run.
Renfroe now the team leader in runs batted in with his 14. Ties O'Hoppe for the team lead in homers with 4. He wears the Kabuto here at Fenway. Haven't seen the Kabuto in a couple of days. Only the 2nd homer in this series for the Angels. The other was Urshela's grand slam in the first inning on Saturday. So good early lead for Shohei Ohtani.
All of a sudden that hit batter, I think, really had changed the course here for Bello against Taylor Ward, and then fell behind 1-0, and then a pitch right down in that spot inside part where you can lift it out for Hunter Renfroe. And the command issue here too.
3 balls, 1 strike on Gio Urshela, playing third base today with Rendon out. Without Trout and Rendon, the Halos still get off to a good start, scoring 3 at least here in the top of the first. Ball 4 to Urshela, so 4 straight have reached. It was Shohei, the starting pitcher today for the Angels, who got the rally started with a base hit. Then the hit batsman, a 3-run homer. Now a walk as Dave Bush, the Red Sox pitching coach, comes to the mound.
Never easy when your routine's off as a starting pitcher, even though they knew exactly how long this delay was going to be. They announced that when they said delay at 11 o'clock was going to start at 12, but still your routine is and your focus is ready to go at a certain point, even though it's real early in the morning, especially for the Angels because they're not quite acclimated to the East Coast time zone. But still, routines and starting pitchers is always something that you always got to be concerned about, especially early in the game.
So the Red Sox mound conference being broken up. As Phil Nevin's team is out to a 3-0 lead here in the first. And they were up 4-0 in the first on Saturday. Remember, in 7 of the 8 games the Angels have lost, they've held leads in. So they feel like they'll need to get more as they go along here today against a Red Sox team that maybe on paper doesn't have a lineup that stands out. No Verdugo and no Turner for them today. They've scored a lot of runs, especially here at Fenway. Jake Lamb getting a start at first base, looks at a strike from Bello. It's raining now. Pretty hard.
I think we're going to see that throughout this whole afternoon. They're not supposed to be a significant amount of rain. But I've always felt, you know, what's status till today is pitchers have that advantage because that rain hits the helmet and a little bit of distraction in your eyes. It's difficult enough to hit a baseball, but that distraction makes it better for a pitcher.
Jake Lamb rips one for a base hit into right center field. Good job by Duran in center as he scooped that ball. Urshela, though, takes third anyway. The throw coming into second base was mishandled by Arroyo, and Urshela with aggressive base running, able to go first to third.
Really aggressive on that one too. You know, good relay and a throw. He's probably going to be out, but you got to force the issue, especially when you're trying to add on here. Good swing by Jake Lamb, line drive. Anything in that outfield grass today, you really got to keep your eye on as an outfielder, because that could skip by you.
And Duran in center, a little handcuffed himself a little bit the way he charged that ball and caught it on a short hop. Urshela thought that maybe Duran wouldn't have much on the throw in, and that ended up being the case.
I think that's the conversation you have with your coaching staff, and Bill Hasselman at third. Try to take that extra base, because the baseball is going to be wet if it gets at that outfield grass.
Shohei Ohtani in his career 24-1 when he gets at least 3 runs of support. He's already got them. Hasn't even thrown a ball yet. And Brandon Drury might give him another run. Refsnyder makes the catch. Urshela tagging from third, heading home. Devers cuts off the throw. That's a 4-run top of the first for the Angels.
So good hitting right there for Drury. Got a pitch he could hit in the air after some aggressive base running. But Gio Urshela goes first to third on a shot right to center field. Results in the 4th run. So situational baseball solid there for the Halos.
Urshela's heads-up base running, the aggressive base running pays off. To another first-inning run against Brayan Bello. He finished the season well last year. He had a .259 ERA in his last 6 starts at the end of last season.
Started off slow in spring training down in Grapefruit League action, but then figured it out towards the end.
And one thing about Bello last year is he barely gave up any home runs. He only allowed 1 in 57 innings last year. Gave up a long one in the first inning here today. It was in his 11th appearance and 9th start in the big leagues when he finally allowed a homer to T.J. Friedl of the Reds. It was the longest streak by a Red Sox rookie since Earl Wilson in 1959.
You can see that fastball he has. If he keeps that down in lower third, it's pretty tough. That's some serious run action.
It's been a laborious first inning for Bello. This will be his 27th pitch as he faces Logan O'Hoppe with 2 outs.
By the way, that shot by Jake Lamb, 106.6 miles per hour exit velocity. That's a great swing on that one. So 2 well-hit baseballs by the lefty against Bello today. Lefty's 295 last year. Right-handed batters, though, 329. Surprising.
O'Hoppe lays off, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A lot of pitches thrown here already in the first inning for Bello. 28.
Angels could use a win. They've lost the first 3 in this series, trying to avoid being swept today. And this road trip doesn't get any easier with the trip to New York. They'll face the Yankees starting tomorrow night. This will be at least a 30-pitch inning for Bello. At some point, managers get finicky about the number of pitches to rise in an early inning like this. Runner goes from first as O'Hoppe fouls one at home plate. Another base runner here, and you might see the Red Sox even think about their bullpen.
Especially with a day like today where you might see some spottage of rain throughout, and then you might have to go to your bullpen even more so. But good luck gave him a long effort yesterday. First time in a long time for a starter for the Red Sox. So that helped him out quite a bit.
O'Hoppe working along at bat here as well. You know, the monster is 37 feet tall. Hunter Renfroe's home run reached an arc of 125 feet. So he had plenty of height.
So he hit the ball high and it went far.
Could have hit it over a few monsters maybe. Hoppe staying in there and driving up that pitch count even further for Bello, now at 32.
Looked like he hurt himself on that swing, though. Oh. That front shoulder. on the follow through on the swing.
See if Ohtani can continue here. He's got a lot of family that will be visiting him over the next few days at Yankee Stadium. Kid from Long Island. And the Angels certainly want him in there as much as possible behind the plate. He has been a big boost coming up from the minor leagues and making the opening day roster. Seems like Ohtani not in as much pain as he was after that last swing, but there's Theis getting ready.
Kind of a cold, raw day here today at Fenway Park, too. Trying to open up that front shoulder.
He's waving it around. He's going to stay in there for now, so that's a good sign at least. So we'll see how he's feeling after another swing.
You're almost hoping right now a pitch out of the strike zone. And I almost be willing to say, even if it's close to the strike zone, you might want to take it and see if you get that feeling back in the front shoulder.
Lamb will run again. Another 3-2 pitch coming to Ohtani. He does swing and hits a foul ball. No real grimace there. Maybe not feeling terribly comfortable, but no obvious pain on that swing.
I was pretty shocked that he was up there swinging, ready to hit the baseball.
A tough, strong kid. He's been an impressive one to start his big league career. 3-2 again. He hits a frozen rope into left field.
He is special. How do you hit a baseball that hard after being uncomfortable on a swing?
Shoulder not feeling great, but he certainly hit that ball right on the nose. 108 miles per hour.
Wow, 108 miles per hour.
So the Angels have 2 on. This will be the 9th batter of the inning, Brett Phillips. And back to the top of the order with Neto and Ohtani. In the annals of a baseball unicorn, we could see Shohei bat twice before he throws a pitch.
Saw that in Houston last year. He got 2 hits in that inning, too.
Phillips and Neto would have to reach to give Shohei another at bat here in the first inning. Phillips actually walked in his first 3 plate appearances for the Angels to begin the season. No Angel had ever done that before.
By the way, Shohei was near perfect in that game, too. He took it the perfect game in the 7th. Jason Castro, former Angel, got the only hit he allowed in that game.
Shohei getting ready to pitch at some point. Brayan Bello's thrown 36 pitches here in the top of the first. This game yesterday was already in the 6th inning by the time a pitcher had thrown 37 pitches, but a good first inning for the Angels. Hunter Renfroe is Captain Kabuto after a 3-run homer in the top of the first.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car. Then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid. Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
If sports fans built a streaming service.
Hey, so you know how we carry a ton of local sports networks?
Sure, Boston, Philly, Chicago, Phoenix.
And Minnesota?
So you hired twins
Oh, yeah.
from Minnesota.
You betcha.
I love it.
Live TV and sports and more, but mostly sports. That's Fubo!
The search for high-quality meat ends here. With ButcherBox, you get 100% grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Sourced from partners who believe in doing things the right way. Together, we can make a difference, one meal at a time. Sign up today at butcherbox.com for a special offer.
Shohei on the mound in the bottom half.
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani has thrown the ball so well at the beginning part of the season. My go-to is to continue this stretch, and even going back over his last 10 starts, we showed is being creative with his out pitches. In other words, don't follow this all with sweeper. Use the curve, sweeper, splitter combo for chases throughout this game.
Sweeper was in full force in his last start against the Washington Nationals.
That leadoff batter, though, has been a challenge for Shohei all 3 games. And you know that when you're looking at scouting reports as far as command earlier for Shohei Ohtani.
Raimel Tapia leading off instead of Verdugo today. And Ohtani again falling behind. We've seen Shohei with a lot of walks here in the early part of the season. He's walked 12 in 19 innings, but he's only given up 6 hits. So even with 12 walks, his whip is under 1. And now 13 walks as Ohtani nowhere near the zone on the first 4 pitches to Raimel Tapia. Here's who's behind Tapia, most notably Rafael Devers batting second today. Masataka Yoshida, Ohtani's teammate on Samurai Japan during the World Baseball Classic, hitting cleanup and DHing today. Jarren Duran, just recalled from AAA, is in center field, his first game this season at the big league level for Boston. Devers has 7 homers, the American League leader.
Amazing after you see 4 pitches in a row out of the zone. You have Devers up there swinging the first pitch. He's had success on the first pitch throughout his career, but you also look against Shohei. That might be your best shot, even though he wasn't in the zone early. That's a smart decision by Devers to be ready. Now Shohei ahead of the count.
The backstop it goes, and to second base goes Tapia. So leadoff walk and then a wild pitch.
And the defense behind Shohei Ohtani trying to put up that 0 here. You got Gio Urshela at third base. Third baseman here in this ballpark becomes so important as far as, first of all, making the plays at third, but also that bounce off that short wall towards left field, too. So you got to be very active. You got Neto at short. You got Drury and Lamb on that side. And in the outfield, Ward, Phillips, Renfroe in the outfield.
Mike Trout in there today. No Rendon either.
Logan O'Hoppe behind the plate. These two have worked together so well for just the limited amount of time they've pitched and caught each other.
O'Hoppe's been behind the plate for all of Ohtani's innings so far. Shohei's allowed just 1 run in his first 19 innings with O'Hoppe behind the plate. Another wild pitch. Tapia's at third.
Remember, that's that front shoulder that Logan O'Hoppe had a tough time with on the swing. So that's the arm he's reaching on an overthrown pitch. Here he's got to reach on the backhand. That's that front shoulder. So that might be something we can keep an eye on even from the catching position for Logan O'Hoppe as the game progresses.
2-2 on Devers. He's able to make some contact on a good pitch from Ohtani. That sweeper that buried down and in. A walk and 2 wild pitches has effectively made it a leadoff triple for Tapia. The 2-2 again to Devers. Missed with the fastball. 98.
Wow, 98. This is where Shohei gets so creative now. He has that fastball close enough. You hear the oohs and ahs in the stands. The hitter more apt to go after a pitch a little bit low now.
Inside out swing and a pop up in foul ground. Urshela able to make the catch. And then he dropped the ball after.
That's on the transfer.
Carlos Torres, the third base umpire, all over it, saying that Urshela dropped that on the transfer. We'll see if the Red Sox take a look in the dugout. And they will say, play on. There's the catch, and clearly he had it for a while before it dropped out as he was taking the ball into his bare hand.
Remember a few years ago when that rule, remember you had to bring it out into your throwing hand. That was a big thing. It happened early, but then they clarified that play if it's in the glove in that period of time where you're taking a step or two, it's going to be considered an out.
1 out. Here's Ref Snyder batting third again, even with a right-hander on the mound. Ref Snyder much better against lefties than right-handers. And Shohei dials up 97 for the first pitch strike.
This gets real interesting now, especially ahead of the count with that sweeper he has. How easy it will be, or how hard it's going to be for Ohtani to reach on the outside part of the plate.
This is where Ohtani has excelled over the last few years on the mound. These moments where he's dealing with some adversity, runners in scoring position. One hopper to short. Neto takes a look at the plate, but the run scores. And Ref Snyder able to knock in Tapia. So the Red Sox are on the board. The Angels lead is 4-1.
Ref Snyder, that's a pretty good at bat though, with 2 strikes to make contact against Shohei Ohtani. When you look at his numbers, when he gets to 2 strikes and what pitches he can go to, it's generally going to result in a strikeout. It's a big run for the Red Sox to feel back in the game against Shohei Ohtani.
Now the matchup they're waiting for in Japan, certainly. It's Ohtani against Yoshida. And the first pitch breaking ball strike. Yoshida and Ohtani, teammates for Samurai Japan during the World Baseball Classic. Yoshida said he got a lot of advice from Shohei on how to attack certain pitchers that he would end up seeing in the U.S. Not sure Shohei gave him any advice about himself, though.
No. He says, I think you should look for fastball against me all the time. So he starts him off with a couple sweepers.
It's the first of a 5-year deal for Yoshida with the Red Sox, signed for $90 million. Just missed with that curve.
That could have easily been called a strike. Close enough. Pretty good pitch for Shohei. The curveball looks like it touching that lower part of the strike zone.
Yoshida strikes out on a high heater from Ohtani as Shohei wins round 1 against his former Japanese teammate. It's 4-1 Angels after an inning.
This is the planning effect. If Shannon's thinking, where do I want to retire? She'll get some help from Fidelity to envision a plan for the future. Fidelity's one-on-one financial coaching helps Shannon measure her progress and know her next steps. Plus, Shannon's professionally managed IRA has a strategy based on her comfort level with risk and reward, which leaves Shannon feeling so good she can enjoy more of what's right in front of her. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Did walk the first batter, then threw a couple of wild pitches, seemed to settle in after. What a first inning run for the Red Sox to at least tick one back after the Angels' big first innings. Now Zach Neto leads off the second against Bello. There's a line drive toward left, and there's the first major league hit for Zach Neto. It was a hard smash into left field. It breaks an 0 for 9 to start his big league career. And a well-earned baseball headed toward the Angels dugout for Zach Neto.
That's great to see. He was aggressive on the first pitch, first at bat. This time again, ready first pitch. And the scramble to get that. No, always have to pretend you're going to throw it into the stands. Congrats to Zach Neto.
A long time coming since last July when he was drafted.
Yeah, it's so long.
Here's Shohei. One thing we talked about earlier is that with Neto now on the bases, he's got a chance to use his wheels.
He can really, really run.
We've seen Anthony Volpe of the Yankees, and we'll see it up close and personal the next few days. Running like crazy.
Bello's he's allowed 6 stolen bases in 7 attempts last year. With that movement on his fastball, it's not an easy catch and throw. With Shohei at the plate, you're already in scoring position at first base.
Bello has fallen behind Ohtani. It's 2 balls, no strikes. There's a line drive, base hit again for Shohei. Neto racing around second. He's going to challenge the arm of Tapia, and he makes it easily. Zach Neto showing his speed going first to third. Ohtani's 2 for 2. And the Angels threatening again.
And before we go back and look at Shohei's second hit, Zach Neto first hit fastball. Nice job as far as a running fastball inside. Brought his hands up there. What a moment. That is so amazing. Well, Hasselman will be able to throw that baseball into the dugout. Zach Neto on the board. Not trying to get a run scored here. Get that run back.
Good chance at third with nobody out. Here's Taylor Ward. It's a pretty devastating changeup from Brayan Bello. I think Bello's going to be really good after what they saw from Garrett Whitlock yesterday in the rotation. I feel like they've got a couple building blocks behind some of their aging pitchers, guys like Sale and Kluber in their rotation. They're actually going to tinker with a 6-man rotation because they want to give Sale some extra rest between starts. Kluber too.
And you got a lot of guys, especially in your rotation, haven't started a whole lot, so it's probably the right decision for the Red Sox, especially early on.
It is early. Don't forget, it's a long season. This is game 16 for the Angels as Ward with a check swing goes too far. Max wants me to tell you it's a marathon. It's a marathon.
The old
Today's
saying in
Boston
baseball, the season is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Well, it is a marathon, and everything possible here in Boston today.
Marathons everywhere. It's a marathon getting here today because of the marathon. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Taylor Ward. And the Red Sox wearing their Boston Strong jerseys with the Boston font on the home jersey instead of Red Sox. They represent the city today with those Boston unis. And Ward on the changeup strikes out swinging, so big out for Bello, his 3rd K. That is a good pitch.
I mean, you look at his whiff percentage versus his changeup last year. It was over 44% on a changeup. That's impressive.
It's about where Sandy Alcantara is on his. Patrick Sandoval in that neighborhood with his.
You used to always think of a changeup as one of those pitch to contact, soft contact, get outs, pop-ups, ground balls, but he's got a swing and miss in that one.
And here's Renfroe, a 3-run homer in the first. That's the difference right now. Soft bouncer over the mound. This will score another run. Bare hand play. Good job by Kike Hernandez to retire Renfroe, but Zach Neto scores in the big leagues for the first time. Renfroe's got 4 RBIs already. The Angels get that run back. It's 5-1.
Yeah, that soft contact, but what a play by Kike Hernandez playing center field throughout this. That grass is going to be a little bit wet on the bare hand. Makes that play, and Renfroe runs well, picks up the RBI. That big run back that the Red Sox scored at the bottom of the first.
Kike has been a little messy at shortstop so far in this series, or in this season, I should say. He's made 5 errors at that position already. We've only seen him in center field to this point. He played 1 inning at second base the other day, but it's the first time Hernandez has played at shortstop in this series. Gio Urshela walked and scored in the first.
By the way, his his great base running resulted in that 4th run. Going first to third on a line drive, break the center by Jake Lamb. Shelley went all the way to first to third on that one. Scores on a sac fly by Brandon Drury.
4 runs in the first, already 1 here in the second. 2 outs, a man in scoring position as well. That's Ohtani out there, not wearing the jacket in this inning. He wore it when he was on base in the first. Shella loops one toward left. It's Refsnyder to handle it. Zach Neto gets his first big league hit and run scored. He's on the board, and so are the Angels in the second. They lead by 4.
This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. Games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
What do baseball players love the most about intentional talk?
Kevin's highlights, the interviews, the got heaves.
Yes! Intentional talk, the show baseball players love to watch, only on MLB Network.
Bit. And they've decided to just play through it. There's the home plate umpire, Jansen Visconti. It got pretty wet in here. And Shohei Ohtani trying to throw his warm-up tosses through the rain as it gets pretty soaked out there on the field.
Yeah, the infield dirt looks pretty wet. Take a look at our Frontier Play Sense. Shohei Ohtani, fastball 98 upstairs. So important to throw that fastball up, because then it sets up that curveball, same plane, and then drops down the bottom of the strike zone for 5-mile-an-hour strikeout on the curve. Today, that breaking ball, 79, then he goes reverse, and then he runs that same plane on the fastball upstairs, gets it by the hitter. This looks like they're going to just kind of put that dry stuff around the home plate area and the mound area. So again, routines for Shohei Ohtani coming into play here now, again, new baseball. But boy, when you think about it, that combination, 4-seam fastball upstairs, same plane, drops the curveball, and then the very next time out here in this ballpark started the curveball down, and then the same plane ran the fastball upstairs.
You can see how wet the mound is. What the grounds crew spreading that stuff all around, smearing that around the mound like it's butter.
It basically tells you that they feel that it's going to be doing this throughout the day. Otherwise, they would have put the tarp out there right away.
And now they're going to go to work on the infield. This might be a little bit before the bottom of the second begins. As we see the grounds crew working on the mound, there's now a puddle already forming around the home, right on top of home plate.
I'm guessing the report must have been a passing shower, but that was pretty heavy rain to be able to have that wet in the infield. Shohei's going to have a little bit of a delay here.
That guy went to Harvard. If he was so smart, he should have told us about the rain. We need a raincoat in our booth. We had to put the window down. The window only goes down so quickly. It's mechanical. We got a little exposed to the elements. We're not used to that. No. We're used to being pampered in here.
What's it say? It never rains in Southern California.
Yeah, well.
We're not in Southern California, I don't think.
No, somehow we got lost. We are in the Northeast, and we'll continue to be through the first part of the week. Angels get back home on Friday when they'll play the Kansas City Royals at the Big A, and that'll be a welcome sight in Southern California on Friday. Carl's Cam replays Shohei Ohtani on the mound at Fenway last year. A little better weather day as he pushed through the Red Sox in 7 scoreless innings with 11 strikeouts.
Boy, did he have it work when you look at that game and go back to how good he had as far as swing and misses throughout there. He had 29 of them in that game, and the majority of them in the zone as far as swing and miss. Shohei was super excited about that effort there in that game.
It's amazing. It only happened a handful of times in the history of Fenway that an opposing starting pitcher had 10 or more strikeouts, no walks, and no earned runs while going at least 7 innings. Mike Mussina did it a couple of times, Hall of Famer. Another one, Walter Johnson, did it a couple of times. And Stan Bunsen, who was a Rookie of the Year for the Yankees, did it in 1968. And that's it. It is a very short list, a surprisingly short list.
For how many
Shohei
years
joined.
this stadium? That's incredible.
It's only 111 years old.
That's it. And you remember that game, too, with those strikeouts. He had 19 swing and misses in zone.
It was a career high in swings and misses that Ohtani got in that start last year against the Red Sox. 29 total, including the 19 within the strike zone. Ohtani trying to stay loose, so Hoppy not even taking these throws near home plate, as that home plate area is a mess right now. Very soupy behind home plate.
And the weird thing and a difficult thing for Shohei Ohtani, he is so routine oriented. So this is a different atmosphere for Shohei today. That home plate area, you know what? I wouldn't mind that way. Keep it nice and dirty.
As a pitcher, yes. To make sure the umpire can't quite see everything.
Yeah, because he said everything dirt. Okay, everything's a strike there at that point.
So Shohei continues to warm up while the infielders stand on grass to avoid the grounds crew working on all the infield dirt. And the warning tracks are going to get pretty slick as well on the outfield, but the attention really being paid right now to the infield as the grounds crew doing a good job. Nothing they're not used to here at Fenway Park.
I think everybody is whenever to get on the bases or even at the plate, they're going to go for the extra base here now. Always going to try that now with conditions like this. And the interesting thing for Shohei, he's a guy that doesn't throw a lot of warm-up pitches in between innings. He's throwing a number of them here to stay loose. By the way, how great is that for Zach Neto just to be able to reflect on that first major league hit? And we might as well check in on our Hyundai key for the game today. New kids on the block. You got it. The right stuff. Shohei does have the right stuff to go out and dominate here today, especially with a 5-1 lead, already 2 hits at the plate, so he has the right stuff.
Key to the game coming in. It's already 5-1.
Well, it was a key to add on to it.
New kids on the block.
And a little new addition in Aerosmith. We're bringing all Boston.
Donnie Wahlberg, right?
Yes.
New kids on the block.
Yes.
Well, home plate's clean enough for right now. What about Marky Mark? The Funky Bunch.
Yes.
Tristan Casas is probably a part of the Funky Bunch. Interesting rookie. Was taking pregame naps in the locker room last year and sunbathing on the field. And some of the Red Sox veterans had to get together and kind of say, you know, there's a nap room here at Fenway. We don't sunbathe in the outfield. Alex Cora said that Casas is quick at adapting, so he's been causing no issues in the Red Sox clubhouse this year. And they're happy to have Tristan Casas, who will be leading off here in the bottom of the second once his field has been deemed playable enough to get going on. Now Ohtani wrapping up his warm-up tosses as the bottom of the second inning is about to commence here at Fenway.
17 minutes between the last pitch Shohei Ohtani has thrown. He's thrown a lot of pitches warming up here. Like I said, usually in between innings he'll throw like 6 or 7 at about 30 to 50% effort.
It's part of what you have to deal with here, especially in the early part of the year as Casas stands in against Ohtani. Casas, then Kike Hernandez, and Reese McGuire. Now there might be a pitch comm problem. Ohtani, remember, wears the transmitter in his left sleeve as he calls his own pitches. Ohtani wears a transmitter as well. Looks like there might be Ohtani's transmitter on his knee that might be causing the disruption. So they might have to just use traditional signs here.
Can we blame it on the rain?
You already did your Hyundai key. Now Ohtani is trying to find something that has to do with the pitch comm, it looks like. He's frantically waving to the Angels dugout, trying to put a transmitter or some sort of communication device sent out to him. So it's been a...
He's really liking to be able to call his own game, and enables him to be able to get those pitches thrown and not dealing with the pitch timer at all.
I don't know. Ippei's looking to get somebody fired. I think he's not happy that Shohei's not being taken care of right now. But this dugout attendant for the Angels is trying to figure out what everybody needs to get going here. Now Shohei bypasses that, and he's going to try to get this figured out himself. It's like there's a problem either hearing the device or a problem with the pitch comm transmitter. And there's certainly a possibility that you could just use the traditional signs, put the fingers down and all that, just like you had to do.
I just put one or two down. That was it. That's good enough. 2 pitches. Shohei's got about 150 of them.
I mean, it looks like they're trying to land a plane right now.
Yes. I mean, he's got 2 fastballs, 2 slider sweepers, a curveball, a cutter, splitter, and maybe even a partridge in a pear tree at that point.
And is the FAA available? FCC? We need somebody to help us out here. This is why they need the pitch comm, by the way, because Shohei's got a million pitches to throw.
So we got it settled here. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. The pitch arsenal: sweeper 50%, four-seamer 26. You also see he'll throw a cutter. He'll also throw a splitter at nearly 8%. And an occasional slider and that cutter. Curveball about 2%.
There's a good pitch on the sweeper to get a swing and miss from Casas, who was way out in front. Casas has a lot of power. He was not hit for much average at the major league level. Hit a handful of homers last September, including one off Garrett Cole. It's under this one. It's a lazy fly ball for Brett Phillips, playing center field today.
That might be your goal, for especially with Shohei. He's more of a strikeout fly ball type pitcher anyhow, with the conditions like that, like this right now, especially in that infield dirt. Fly ball, strikeout. And you try to avoid that in this ballpark with the dimensions, but I think it plays better for Shohei as compared to Bello on the way he throws the baseball.
Bello's already allowed 5 runs, and he's thrown a whole lot of pitches in the first 2 innings. Here's Kike Hernandez. Shohei pumps in a strike. Ohtani's got more strikeouts than anybody with that sweeper over the last couple of years. There's a nasty one.
That's an unhittable one. Especially if you're able to throw that sweeper for a strike, and then you can expand the strike zone with that horizontal break he has. Almost impossible to make good contact.
Throw it again.
Wow.
Take strike 3. Kike Hernandez has a seat. That was sweeperific from Shohei Ohtani against Hernandez.
Go Wade. They were nasty. You talk about some break and some spin and some horizontal break to it. That one, middle of the plate, outside corner. Follows it right back up with an even better one. That late break and catch in the corner at 84. You're talking about spin rate of about 2,600 just about.
Second strikeout for Ohtani. He's retired 5 straight since the leadoff walk in the first. Here's Reese McGuire, left-handed batting catcher. We've seen McGuire at the plate once in this series. He reached base on the second of Matt Theis's catcher's interference calls in the 8th inning on Saturday. The Angels only had 2 catcher's interference calls against them all of last year. They had 2 in 1 inning on Saturday. The sweepers are looking devastating here in the rain at Fenway.
Little angry Shohei in between that delay there, and you're seeing some nasty angry sweepers going.
He's thrown that pitch almost 60% of the time here today. McGuire lucky to get a piece on a check swing.
So now you threw it in the strike zone as a young hitter at the plate. Now Shohei can go that one down and in, or you can even try that backdoor slow curveball.
Ohtani, Dylan Cease 1-2 in strikeouts on non-fastballs. That was a fastball, and again McGuire with a defensive swing able to make some contact.
And 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
McGuire came up in the Blue Jays system, spent a little time with the White Sox, now with the Red Sox. And he waves and misses at the breaking ball for strike 3. Ohapi sends it to first. Shohei Ohtani sweeping his way through the second. 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning.
Craving that home run feeling? Well, step up to the plate and take a swing. It's time for the Major League Baseball Junior Home Run Derby. Compete at a local event and mash your way to the 2023 Junior Home Run Derby Final during MLB All-Star Week in Seattle. Sign up for free at jrhrd.com.
The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Family Fun Pack for only $44. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 soft drinks. For more information regarding the Coca-Cola Friends and Family Fun Pack, visit angels.com/funpack. Not much fun for the grounds crew happening today. They've had to work pretty hard on a wet early day here at Fenway around the Boston Marathon. This game's scheduled to start at 11. Started an hour late. And you can see the beating the field has taken to this point as well. Just a couple of innings into this game. As Jake Lamb will lead off the third against Brayan. Bello, who's had a tough time himself. But the grounds crew, Gooby, working very hard to get this game through at least what it needs to, which of course is 5 innings to make it an official game.
I don't say they need that diamond drive to be able to put around all around the infield to keep that dirt playable for the infielders. Again, you're dealing with that wet grass in the infield, and everything is going to be super quick. If you hit the baseball in that outfield grass at all, you're going to be trying to take the extra base. Spacious out there, especially when you go from left center to right center here in this ballpark.
So Lamb settles in against Bello, who's thrown 50 pitches in the first 2 innings. Number 51 on his day is a strike to Lamb to begin the third. Base hit for Lamb in the first. All 9 Angels in the order came to bat in a 4-run first inning.
Boy, how impressive was that inning for Shohei Ohtani? That delay, 17 minutes between pitches, between the first and second, and went out and just dominated. That sweeper was unreal.
That's as good as we've seen it in a single inning this season. Keep in mind, he's allowed 2 runs in 21 innings and now has 27 strikeouts for the year.
And 2 hits in this game, by the way, too.
Yeah. There's also that.
There's always that add-on when it comes to Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, he'll be in the lineup tomorrow at Yankee Stadium. He was in the lineup yesterday. I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind show, and we showed you the video earlier that Erica took when the team was leaving the ballpark yesterday, and just the sea of people. You know, a lot of them wearing Red Sox stuff, waiting to get a glimpse of Shohei Ohtani. As Lamb hits another ball hard, and the shortstop Hernandez was shielded maybe by the pitcher. He didn't know how to react to that ball. And Jake Lamb has another hit. He's 2 for 2.
That was a slap shot, especially if the Bruins are playing a playoff hockey game today. It was a slap shot screened by the goalie. And it skipped on that infield grass. No play in the infield is going to be an easy one today.
Well, if the Bruins goalie looks like that against the Florida Panthers, it's going to be a long series for Boston. Kike Hernandez, we told you about all the errors he's made at short to begin the year. Not an error there, but a reaction that was off, depending on perhaps getting shielded in some way. Here's Brandon Drury. A strike from Bello. Yesterday, Drury was caught stealing to end the second on a play where the Angels had runners on first and third. It seemed like the intention was for Drury to go and for Rengifo to kind of fake a break off of third to draw a throw to the middle of the infield, in which Drury would take second base.
Yeah, because they figured the infielder at that point there's a play on where you come cut that off to make the throw to home plate.
Rengifo never broke, and Drury was just left to his own devices trying to steal second, which he could not. Just an interesting wrinkle the Angels were trying to throw in, but ended up costing them an out. One thing I think we've seen early in the year, and we've seen our fair share of mistakes from the Angels, especially in this series, but anytime they make one, it seems to cost them something, cost them an out, or cost them a run, or an inning, or a game even. Almost in entirety, their mistakes have been costly. Drury with a hard ground ball, base hit into center field. Lamb gets to second and holds there. It's 2 on, nobody out.
But when you know that's going to change up at some point, then it turns the other way around. So you just got to deal with this right now, and it's not let it and dwell on it and let it really affect you the very next day. And early on in this game so far, everything looks like they've forgotten about what has happened the first 3 games in this series.
Trying to avoid the sweep, get to New York on a winning note, get back to 500. As Logan O'Hoppe bats. We saw O'Hoppe grimacing after a couple of swings in the first inning.
You think maybe you asked him to bunt here now, depending on how he feels?
He did hit a 108-mile-an-hour line drive on his last swing in the first inning.
Yes, definitely.
Phillips on deck, so I wouldn't imagine you'd see a bunt here, and if he's not healthy enough to swing, then it's a whole other issue.
By the way, Jake Lamb, 2 hits today, both 100-mile-an-hour explosivity plus on both hits for Jake Lamb today.
Angels have 8 hits today. Brayan Bello hasn't fooled many hitters. Really, his changeup has been good, but nothing else.
And a slider, a pitch he likes to go to too. It hasn't been close enough generally to the plate to get anybody to go after.
Bello just stepped off the rubber. They're going to rule that as a disengagement. He's ahead of O'Hoppe, 0-2. And he strikes him out on another good changeup. That really is a great pitch for Bello.
Mentioned that whiff percentage, but you go back to his strikeouts last year, 21 of them. His 55 strikeouts last year was on his changeup.
Here's Phillips. Struck out his first at bat today. Day off for Mike Trout. Phil Nevin saying that Trout, Rendon, the guys who are scheduled to get days off are going to get them regardless of the situation. It's a 6-month season and they need those guys in there the large majority of the time.
Yep. How important they are. Occasionally get a breather when you have Shohei Ohtani on the mound here. You feel every time he takes the mound, you have a chance to win a game.
That's part of the point too. Get a little better defense in center field with Phillips. I don't think you need as many runs with Ohtani on the mound, although the Angels have scored 5 anyway in the first 2 innings. So even with 2 of their bigger hitters out, it's still been a good day for the offense. Hunter Renfroe's driven in 4 runs.
15 RBI on the season now for Renfroe.
He leads the team, and that gets him up near the league leaders in that category. 15 RBIs as far as the American League goes. Ryan Mountcastle of the Orioles has had a tremendous start driving in runs. He's at 20, and so is Jordan Alvarez, but 15 puts Renfroe in a tie for 4th with Matt Chapman, Rafael Devers, and Cedric Mullins. Only Arozarena, Mountcastle, and Alvarez have driven in more in the American League than Renfroe to this point. Enough attempt at second, and Lamb gets back.
Mountcastle had a game when he drove in 8 runs one game for Baltimore.
9.
Was it 9
in one game? Yeah. It's a pretty good day. Phillips had a miscue on the bases yesterday. He takes full accountability, a big moment. So it was the first time in his career he slid back into a bag and slid into someone's foot, because he did beat the throw, but he was blocked by the foot of Christian Arroyo at second base. As Phillips strikes out here, he said next time he's going to go in feet first.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way you could block the base. Going face first back, but not when you're going with cleat first.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Bello after hits to start this inning, and now our Arco top-tier play as we revisit the first big league hit for Zach Neto.
Quick those hands are. That's above the belt on the line. So already in this game, he has swung at the first pitch against Bello twice, and he hit that first major league hit.
Now that's out of the way. First run scored out of the way. Looking for his first RBI now. Trying to bunt his way on. Not a bad idea with Ohtani on deck.
He's already hit the ball on the money already, twice for 2 hits.
Neto has very good speed. Just really enhances the athleticism of this Angels team. From a base running standpoint, from a defensive standpoint. We'll see what value he brings offensively as well, but Neto just makes the Angels more athletic and defensively skilled.
That's a good take. He's really read breaking pitches really well. Even though he just got his first major league hit, he hits the baseballs pretty hard. The third base pulled a little bit. Then that last at bat, that line drive, his last out, hit the ball hard.
Balls and a strike on Neto. Still raining pretty hard here. It's the last game of the series, the only time the Angels come to Boston.
Yeah, you can hear it now. It's coming down a little harder. Fans are moving around.
This field's really hard. Yeah, it's going to need to get covered here. They're going to pull the tarp on the field. It has Been a rainy day. The infield already looks pretty wet. And as the rain once again falls pretty heavily, they're going to have to cover this field. It's imperative to get through 5 innings today because this is the only trip to Boston for the Angels. Don't want to have to come back here and make this game up across the country. So we'll wait this one out. And they'll be here as long as it takes today to make sure they play this game. The Angels have the lead. We're in the 3rd inning. And when we come back, we'll send it back to our studio with Ken French and Bobby Valentine. Park during a long rain delay. The Angels enjoyed a strong top of the 1st against Brayan Bello. Hunter Renfroe launching a 3-run homer, gets to wear the kabuto after his 4th home run. Zach Neto got his first major league hit today. That helped the Angels get a run in the top of the 2nd inning. So they had a 5-1 lead as Shohei Ohtani took the mound to start this one. Ohtani did not give up a hit in his 2 innings of work. He did walk a batter, which allowed a run to score after a couple of wild pitches, but 3 strikeouts. His sweeper was devastating in the bottom of the 2nd, but perhaps just as devastating was a long rain delay, as our T-Mobile coverage cam shows you how the game has gone so far. And the rain delay is going to push Shohei Ohtani out of this game from the mound after only 2 innings.
Yeah, that's a tough thing, Wayne, especially where he threw the baseball. Even with that delay of, what, 17 minutes in between the pitch he threw in the 1st inning and then when his pitch in the 2nd inning. And his sweeper was devastating, but he's still DHing already with 2 hits in the game, Shohei Ohtani. They're trying to add on as far as the offensive side, but no longer on the mound here for the Halos.
Now, the Angels are trying to maximize the innings for Ohtani this year, as the count on Neto is 2 balls, 2 strikes. With runners on 1st and 2nd here in the 3rd inning. That's what Cutter Crawford encounters here. But as Shohei is being asked upon to work more this year, and it's a kind of a 5.5-man rotation so they can give Ohtani more starts. Well, this really kind of takes one away, takes away some innings. So I guess it remains to be seen if the Angels keep Ohtani in schedule. He's supposed to pitch next on Sunday at Angel Stadium against the Royals. Will they move him up a day, or do you think they just keep him on the way it is?
I still think they're going to keep him on his routine. Even today's game, I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing with Shohei go back out there. I think you got to take that out of his hand because you know he wants to go out there to compete. But that long of a delay, especially a couple times already in this game and an early start like it was, I think it's a wise decision to pull the plug there on Shohei and allow Tucker Davidson to go in and pitch now.
So away we go once again after a long delay. And Zach Neto goes after the first pitch following the rain delay and lifts a long fly ball. But Raimel Tapia squeezes it to end the top of the 3rd. So after all that, we're going to have another couple minutes before the next pitch.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off flare!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game. Right here on MLB Network.
5 minutes just too long to bring Shohei Ohtani back to the mound. So it's Tucker Davidson taking over here in the bottom of the third.
And he threw the ball really well out of the bullpen so far. 7 1/3 is 2 earned runs allowed. That slider, his #1 pitch. He throws a lot of them, just like Shohei, but more of a slider than a sweeper.
Christian Arroyo leads off the bottom of the third inning for the Red Sox. This game, if it had started on time, would have been over likely by now. As Arroyo, it's a chopper to short, easy for Neto, shows off his strong arm. And Arroyo comes up limping after crossing first base.
And he's not feeling good at all going back into the dugout.
Kind of leads me to my point about Justin Turner.
See him going down the line trying to run as hard as he could, and he got close to the base. You see him pulling up right there, either hip or hamstring area.
So Turner might have to come in. Turner's plan was actually to go to the finish line of the Boston Marathon and meet his wife there. Turner's wife is running the Boston Marathon today, Courtney, part of the Red Sox Foundation's team, and Justin Turner was hoping to make it there for the finish line, but I don't think he's gonna now unless she's very slow. This is Jarren Duran, once a big prospect in the Red Sox system, out of Long Beach State. He went to Cypress High School, just like David Fletcher and his brother Dominic. Duran has a lot of speed, but his bat has not really caught up to pitching in pro ball.
Pretty amazing though when you think about trying to get his first at bat in this game. It's taken him 2 hours and 33 minutes to get that first at bat of the game.
2 hours and 19 minutes worth of rain delays today. Don't forget too, as Duran takes strike 3 called, so Tucker Davidson has retired the first 2. He gets a strikeout, and there's 2 up, 2 down in the third inning. Don't forget there was a 54-minute rain delay before the first pitch.
There's that little sweeper, the indoor, goes in the inside part of the plate on a sweeper. Yeah, it's supposed to be an 11 a.m. start. We were thinking, we saw all the weather reports, it was going to be all right here today. And lo and behold, not quite.
The Red Sox sent out a weather report this morning, expecting just some nuisance showers and mist throughout the day. I guess they weren't ready for the big gulps of rain that we got here throughout the afternoon.
So in other words, it became more of a nuisance.
Yes, a big nuisance for all involved, especially those who wanted to watch Shohei on the mound today.
All the fans that came to the ballpark, we saw how many were waiting around the team bus yesterday afternoon. So many people walk around with Shohei Ohtani jerseys here in this ballpark at Fenway.
A lot of weather problems on Patriots Day for the Red Sox here at Fenway over the years. 6 times they've been postponed on Patriots Day. Tapia swings and misses. Good inning for Tucker Davidson out of the bullpen. 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts.
Games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Finals at 6 p.m. The first 25,000 fans will receive a Shohei Ohtani shirt courtesy of Gung Ho Online Entertainment. For more info, visit angels.com/promotions. There's the Ohtani shirt, and there's Shohei Ohtani as he bats for the 3rd time today. Now he's done pitching after just 2 innings. Of course, the Ohtani rules now in effect. He can remain as the designated hitter after he's done pitching. So even though it was a shorter day than expected on the mound, it's to resume what's already been a multi-hit day.
Well, I just love the way he threw the baseball in that 2nd inning, though. Wow, it was impressive after that delay.
And his sweeper was excellent in that 2nd inning especially.
Crawford's fastball, 92-97. There's a curveball, slider, and a changeup.
Ohtani has had 1 3-hit game as a starting pitcher. It's this ball in the air. Late start for it, but the center fielder Brayan has it for the first out here in the 4th.
It's amazing what he did in the 2nd inning. 10 sweepers thrown, 5 swing and misses, and 2 strikeouts with his sweeper in that 2nd inning. The adjustment he made even after that delay between the 1st and 2nd inning.
Sharply hit bouncer, but Kike Hernandez gets to it. He's made a lot of throwing errors at the beginning of this season. Taylor Ward retired by Hernandez there. One thing we've been a little surprised by today as Renfroe bats is how long it has taken once the tarp has been removed from the field to get the game going again. They pulled the tarp off at 11:15 this morning. It didn't start until 12:05. The same thing happened with this last delay. They took the tarp off around 10-2 and didn't get resumed until about 2:35, maybe even a little bit before 10-2 when they pulled it off. Renfroe looks at the strike. 4 RBIs for Renfroe today, including a 3-run homer in the 1st.
Called the timeout there. I don't think he was real happy with that pitch being called a strike. It was pretty close, borderline pitch.
Renfroe chases for strike 3. A quick inning for Cutter Crawford in the top of the 4th.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Craving that home run feeling? Well, step up to the plate and take a swing. It's time for the Major League Baseball Junior Home Run Derby. Compete at a local event and mash your way to the 2023 Junior Home Run Derby Final during MLB All-Star Week in Seattle. Sign up for free at jrhrd.com.
That's Tucker Davidson didn't start this game. A couple long rain delays today, one since the game had begun, and with Shohei Ohtani starting and only pitching 2 innings, Davidson's going to get some bulk work here today as he faces Rafael Devers to begin the bottom of the 4th. It is a good sign that Logan O'Hoppy's behind the plate. Hoppy grimaced earlier on a swing.
Still amazing during that at bat after the uncomfortable swing he had. He hit a ball, what, 108 miles per hour for a single line drive.
Falls behind Devers. 2 balls, no strikes does Davidson. Devers fouled out his first time against Ohtani. A chance for Tucker Davidson to impress the Angels here. Devers hits it pretty well toward left center. Phillips up near the monster, now peels away, and the ball ricochets by him. Devers, though, will only get to second base. Phillips has a very strong arm, so Devers is not wanting to test that to start the inning, as it's a leadoff double.
Such a perfect swing for the Green Monster for Devers. Off the bat, thought he might be able to run that one down, but just kept carrying. So did Phillips, and then reacted quickly to get behind that baseball, forcing enough to keep it to a double.
So now Rob Refsnyder has driven in the only Boston run so far, and a ground out back in the first inning. He's got Devers at second here. And Davidson misses for ball 1. Davidson, former Atlanta Braves prospect, traded to the Angels last August when Jesse Chavez and Raisel Iglesias were sent to Atlanta. Iglesias has been on the IL all this year. And some of those other Braves starting pitchers started to pass Davidson in their system. Certainly Spencer Strider had a great rookie year last year.
A good slider working today. It's been a very effective pitch. We can go back to last season with Tucker Davidson. And he's thrown it quite a bit. Not quite to that level of Shohei Ohtani as far as sweeper slider, but close.
It would have been nice to see how that sweeper continued to evolve over the day, the way that he had it working in the second inning, in a way we really haven't seen, even as good as it's been at times this year. Kind of tightness to the spin, the very awkward swings he was getting in that second inning. Soft liner back up the middle. Drury will throw to first for the out. Snyder's the first out here in the bottom of the 4th as we check in with Erica Weston.
Wayne, it's been a busy couple days for the Halos Rooks. You know, it takes some people years to get a tour inside the Green Monster. The 2 of them doing so a couple days ago. Logan O'Hoppe on Thursday getting a chance to check it out inside. By the way, your eyes are not deceiving you. He is, in fact, a left-handed writer. That's what he told me a few days ago. Zach Neto, just his second day in the big leagues, getting a look inside the big monster. He said he saw Babe Ruth's signature, so he decided to sign right above it. But based on the fresh paint of the Jeremy Pena signature right next to it, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it probably wasn't the original Ruth signature.
Certainly not Babe Ruth, but now it's got Zach Neto and Logan O'Hoppe. As the Green Monster realized that the autographs kind of wear off over time, even if they're in kind of a permanent marker. You photobombed her.
I was back in there today, just saying, hey.
You look a little lost.
Well, I always look that way. And that's every day of the week.
3 balls, no strikes on Yoshida. He was blown away by a Shohei Ohtani fastball in the first inning. That's not Gooby. That's somebody else now that has taken over in that whirling rectangle spot.
See if he can get back in there. I don't know if that was a great read, not easy read for Devers at second base, but that second baseman's feeling the ball right back up the middle. You would think maybe because it was softly hit, he may be able to advance the third. Unable to do so. So you keep him at second with 1 out. See if he can get through this inning now and keep him there at second.
He's gotten back into a full count with Yoshida. Yoshida walked nearly twice as much as he struck out in Japan last year. He has walked more than he has struck out in the big leagues so far this year. He can be a patient hitter, but we've seen the Angels strike him out a couple of times. Yoshida hasn't played much over the last week because of a hamstring injury. That one just missed. Pretty close to where strike one was called. And Yoshida takes ball 4. The Red Sox have 2 men on here in the 4th inning.
Borderline pitch, probably a little bit off the plate though, but that's a good take.
Bring up Casas. Big first baseman Tristan Casas, 252 pounds. He's from Miami, although he has Cuban heritage. His grandparents came from Cuba. Going high and tight to Casas.
Looking for that ground ball. Anything on the ground is not going to be an easy play for an infielder, although Neto made a nice play last inning. Dangerous spot there.
Got in a little bit, and Casas able to foul it off. Kind of a hanger from Davidson. Devers doubled to start the inning, the first hit for Boston today. And there's a strike again, kind of in that same spot. We saw one pitch called a strike to Yoshida, another called ball 4. Casas not happy that that was called a strike.
Then you got to go just a little bit, maybe half a baseball further away on that one. See if you get him a swing at it now after that ball was called a strike.
Buries one instead, and Casas lays off. So it's 2-2. Davidson in long relief here. Jaime Barria pitched a couple of innings on Friday. I feel like the Angels probably want to keep Barria out of this game because of Jose Suarez starting tomorrow. It has not been a good start to the year for Suarez. He's facing the Yankees tomorrow, though they don't have Giancarlo Stanton right now. They still have Judge and they still have Torres. And now it's a full count on Casas.
It's a huge pitch now for Tucker Davidson and the Angels. You don't want to give Boston any momentum going in this game. They know they don't have to deal with Shohei Ohtani on the mound anymore. Tucker Davidson threw the ball really well in his first inning.
Hernandez on deck. It's 3-2. There's ball 4. So Davidson has walked 2 in a row. That loads the bases. Both left-handed batters too that Davidson has walked. It was a lefty Devers that started the inning with a double. So now Matt Weiss heads to the mound as Davidson finds himself in a jam, and Kike Hernandez, a right-handed batter, is due up as we pause for a quick word from Hyundai.
Own every mile in the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5, 2023 Motor Trend SUV of the year.
And Matt Weiss heads to the Angels' third base side dugout after a quick chat with Tucker Davidson, who has walked back-to-back hitters. The Angels have lost a lot of leads. The Red Sox have a lot of comeback wins. Boston has won 6 times in come from behind fashion already this year. Only the Guardians have come back to win more games at the beginning of this season. Hernandez struck out looking his first time against Ohtani. Good cut at that first pitch fastball.
Part of the plate. And a lot of times when you see a pitching coach come out, it used to be it was automatic with the first pitch fastball, but not anymore. So he was probably thinking breaking ball first pitch. So a little bit, just a little bit off on that one down the middle of the plate on a fastball.
It hard to first, but right to Lamb. We've seen a lot of those atom balls go against the Angels so far this year. Here's one in their favor as Kike Hernandez rips one right to Jake Lamb.
Boy, went inside out and hits a line drive. You're thinking, uh-oh. But a line drive, like you mentioned, Wayne, a lot of those baseballs hit for the Angels with runners in scoring position at an infielder. This time it was at the Angels infielder, Jake Lamb.
Casas looked like he was in quicksand trying to scramble back to first. There's another lefty and a check swing bouncer foul from Reese McGuire. McGuire struck out his first time. He was really worked over by Shohei's sweeper in the second inning. So was Hernandez, for that matter.
Tucker Davidson throw out about 4 or 5 baseballs already today.
It's really a wet day here. The infield looks well taken care of right now, though. Certainly there was a lot of damage on the infield dirt as the rain hit pretty heavily earlier this afternoon. Davidson trying to work out of a bases loaded spot here in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss to make it 1-2.
It's a high slider. Upper part of the strike zone for Davidson. He'll throw that one in the upper part of the strike zone, then he'll also throw that one down and away.
The 1-2. Swinging a little bloop. Phillips got a good jump. He usually does. Calling off the left fielder Ward, who comes in and makes some contact with Phillips. As Phillips makes the catch, that ball was almost in straightaway center field. No idea what Taylor Ward is even doing ranging over that far. Was Phillips's ball all the way. Hopefully Phillips okay as he stumbles a bit after making contact with a sliding Taylor Ward. Phillips lucky to catch it. Hopefully he's all right.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Line drive out and then a pop-up off the bat of Reese McGuire keeps it 5-1 as Gio Urshela leads off the 5th against Cutter Crawford.
It was a real nice job by Tucker to get through that inning with nothing allowed after a leadoff double by Devers at the Green Monster left center. Quick conversation with Matt Weiss, got him break back in the strike zone after back-to-back walks loaded the bases.
Crawford, the perfect kind of long man too. Had a bunch of starts last year. Just like Davidson, who's been a starter most of his pro career. He's worked a couple of innings out of the bullpen already. Now Cutter Crawford in relief of Bello here in the 5th. Urshela taps it to second base. That's Arroyo still out there, so even after Arroyo looked like he was in bad shape, hobbling up the first baseline, worked on him fast.
Yeah, I thought for sure he might be in jeopardy of staying in the game.
Maybe Turner's at the finish line. They just told Arroyo to stick it out.
He'll be back shortly.
So 1 out. Here's Lamb. A couple of hits. Today is Patriots Day, the Boston Marathon, the Red Sox at home. It's been a tradition here in Boston really for always. 1897. I believe that's when the first Boston Marathon was. Patriots Day is a holiday that celebrates the anniversary of Paul Revere's ride in the battles of Lexington and Concord and the very beginning of the Revolutionary War. Little History Channel.
Thank you. I appreciate that one.
That guy knows all about it. He's real Boston. You're a Bostonian. You know all about that stuff. Jake Lamb inside out, to base hit to left. He's 3 for 3.
Line drive to right field. Hard hit ground ball up the middle. Now a base hit to left field for Jake Lamb. Every baseball is getting thrown out. Anytime it hits that grass at all, it's getting thrown out. It's still so wet.
And Drury's had a good day at the plate. A sac fly and a base hit.
So 4 for 4 so far from that position. 2 positions. Talk about need for that balance, especially without Trout and Rendon in your lineup.
This guy's available if need be later, but the Angels have a lead and they'd like to just keep it that way. Ball 1 to Drury. The Red Sox have had a home game scheduled for Patriots Day every year since 1959. The Angels were the opponent for the 2007 Patriots Day game. That's the one where the pizza toss happened. We showed that yesterday. Nothing like Patriots Day pizza toss.
You could have used a slice of pizza during the delay.
Tapia handles that fly ball from Drury. So this was it. This is the only other time the Angels have played here on Patriots Day. Trot Nixon with a foul ball into the seats. Garrett Anderson front row seat for the slice of pizza being thrown. A GA, just nothing. Doesn't even bat an eye.
No. And there goes the pizza.
It's just a full slice. A pizza toss, as Jerry Remy said on the broadcast with Don Orsillo back in those days on the Red Sox games. Here's O'Hoppe. Seemed to hurt his shoulder on a swing earlier, but then he lined a 108-mile-an-hour base hit, and he struck out his last time. Takes a strike from Crawford.
Still kind of moving around a little bit too, and there's been some pitches in the game where he's had to really reach quickly, especially in that first inning. A couple wild pitches by Shohei.
The Red Sox and the Boston Braves used to alternate having home games on Patriots Day. Back when the Braves were the National League team here in Boston. It was a long, long time ago. They moved to Milwaukee 70 years ago, and they've been in Atlanta since the late 60s. Two balls, 2 strikes on O'Hoppe.
The youngster has been real impressive, dealing and working with the pitching staff, swinging the bat very well.
Well, he's been an A+ all the way across the board for Logan O'Hoppe as a big leaguer. And Matt Thaiss has only started a few games. O'Hoppe has gotten the bulk of the work, appearing in 13 of the 16 so far as the starter.
That's a good hack. He is so good on pitches upstairs. That was a hanging slider. Crawford lucky to not give that ball way out. That's a great swing at it.
That was the happy zone right there for O'Hoppe.
So that would be the O'Happy zone for him?
Maybe. Trying to O-hammer another one. That just misses, and it's a full count. Max Linewand, our hard-working producer, telling us that on pitches in the upper third of the zone, O'Hoppe's OPS is close to 1,100. Nothing we haven't seen.
Yeah, you can see that swing he has on that elevated pitch. Most used to be at a time where right-handed batters always crushed higher pitches in the zone, and lefties were always the lower part of the strike zone, but you've seen a little bit of a difference in the trend now.
Lamb will run again on 3-2. Should get out of play. Seeing pizzas flying around, so everything's good.
No, there's none left in here, believe me. We tried.
Yeah, you went on a pizza run, a nacho run. You came back with nothing. Came back with peanuts, literally.
And even a pretzel run, nothing.
This place is cleaned out. Wasn't because of the long game yesterday.
No.
An hour and 57.
They might have had some concessions left.
Yeah, really.
I guess maybe some of the marathon runners came in for some carbs before they went out and did the race.
I did like the Hawaiian roll pulled pork sandwich they have down by the clubhouse area here. Highly recommended. Grounded to third. And Hoppy stumbled out of the box, so Devers had time to toss it across to retire O'Hoppe. Scoreless top of the fifth. Paul Revere's ride. That's what this is all about. Patriots Day in Boston.
Sunday on the next episode of MLB's Carded. Join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
Wondering how you stack up? Well, get ready to bring your best stuff to MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run. The official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Sign up for free for a chance to play your way to the 2023 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals at the World Series. Visit pitchhitrun.com today.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
See it. He struck him out. It's out of here. Feel it. I can't wait for this game to start. He took a home run away. Live it. That is as good as it gets.
The big plays. The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
The fun thing is to watch the cat and mouse game.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
The mound here in the fifth. Short start for Shohei Ohtani because of a 1 hour 25-minute in-game rain delay. There was also a 54-minute pre-game rain delay today. Christian Arroyo grounded out his last time, seemed to be hobbling at the end of the play. He's back in there now, and it's a one-hopper to first. Not running all that hard up the line here as Lamb flips to Davidson for the out. Sure, Arroyo could handle a marathon today, but maybe if he spreads it out over 20 years or so, like Jim Rice did. He had 384 home runs in his career between the regular season and the postseason. So the trots around the bases, in terms of the distance, comes out to 26.2 miles. The length of a marathon.
That is impressive. Saw him today.
We saw
Still
number
looks great.
14. Yeah, Jim Rice. Hall of Famer. I had a Jim Rice model bat when I was a kid. I don't even know how I got it.
Quick little story. I was facing him one time and I threw a fastball, ran in on him. I thought it hit the knob of the bat and it wore him at first base. And I said, that ball hit the bat. And he looked at me and goes, no, it didn't, son. And I go, oh, no, it didn't. Take first base. You're fine. And the umpire just laughed.
High drive to left off the bat of Jarren Duran, and it's high off the monster for an extra base hit.
We can see how fast he is. Played that well off the wall. He was already flying around in the second base. Extra base hit, first of the year, first hit. Just flat. Out over the plate. Strong.
Joe Castiglione, who has certainly seen a lot of Red Sox games over the years, said that Duran's about as fast as Jacoby Ellsbury was when he was with Boston. Jim Rice had 384 homers in the big leagues, but none off of you. You got him.
One of the most intimidating batters I ever faced.
What makes a batter intimidating?
Just because it's the way he stands right on top of the plate. Don Baylor was like that. The late great Don Baylor. Just right on the plate, daring you to pitch him inside. And if you knew if he drifted out of the plate, it wasn't going to turn out well.
Don Baylor won an MVP as an Angel back in the late 70s. Tapia swings and misses. It's Davidson back in the count. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Right off the back foot.
Don Baylor was the first MVP in Angels history, 1979, at 36 homers, had 139 RBIs that year. Angels were a playoff team for the first time in franchise history in 1979. Swing and a miss. Raimel Tapia bites on a breaking ball from Davidson.
Well, between his slider and his sweeper today, it's been effective. Well, I would almost classify that more, felt like more of a curveball. That was at 76, but registers as a sweeper, more horizontal break. It didn't have a vertical drop down. You would see 12-6 type break on a curveball. Effective.
Strike to Rafael Devers, who doubled off the monster his last time. Davidson left the bases loaded in the 4th inning, trying to work around a 1-out double here in the 5th. Angels have led since the 1st. He scored 4 runs. Hunter Renfroe got the scoring started with his 3-run homer. Tapper to third. Funny bounce. Urshela handles it and gets the out.
That's a
to win the inning.
Great play on that one, Wayne. It ricocheted away, reacted with his hand. Good throw to first base. He's made a couple really impressive plays at third already as a halo. Tough play, gets that big out, puts up 0.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big name guests.
Very special guest hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans
and baseball players
wake up to.
Show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network. This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Sixth inning, Brett Phillips leads off. He has struck out both times he's batted today. And it comes up empty on that swing from Phillips against Cutter Crawford, who is from Okeechobee, Florida. Terribly far from Phillips in Tampa, where he lived next door to the Macho Man.
Ooh, yeah.
I told Brett Phillips to give me a Macho Man story the other day. He told me one about how his stepfather, Brett's stepfather, had a bird, some kind of parakeet, as a pet. It flew out of the house and into a tree. So the Macho Man happened to be out playing basketball in the yard. They asked Randy to help find the bird. So there's the Macho Man up climbing a tree looking for this little parakeet. Brett said they didn't find the parakeet, but it was a funny visual of it.
I can only imagine. I think he was going on the top rope and we're going to do a dive from the top rope.
One out. Today's Rowdy Roddy Piper's birthday, too, if you're scoring at home.
It's a good find there, Wayne. Good job. I like it. Piper's Pit back in the day.
Zach Neto with his first big league hit today, scored a run back in the second. He likes that ball up, too.
Yeah.
Kia player profile follows Neto. Hoppy, Silseth already have had big league time. Edgar Carroll's already at Double-A.
He is special too. Great behind the plate, but he can hit too. Ty Bush getting ready to get back. He was a big time prospect. Didn't see him a whole lot in spring training, trying to get the help back in that throwing arm.
High bouncer, handling the high hop at the shoe tops. Hernandez low throw, and Neto is safe. Hernandez has had all kinds of throwing issues at shortstop to begin the year. He had to hurry that one with Neto running up the line.
And he did a nice job of cutting up that last hop, be able to have a chance to make the throw, but then a little bit of a bobble on the transfer. If he lets that bounce one more time, there's no way you're throwing that Neto. He did everything right except on the transfer and then the wide throw.
Must be a lonely feeling when that ball's crawling up your fingers and you can't grip it.
Especially when you know that baseball is wet from the grass being saturated today.
See if they gave a hit. Now it's going to be an error on Kike. And now the ball dribbling away, but Neto didn't realize.
Shohei's reactions to everything is incredible. You talk about somebody who has fun every time he's around a baseball field.
I would imagine it's pretty fun being Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, it might be pretty good.
Bad throw to first. Neto's going to take off for second. So another error. This one on the pitcher Crawford. He just bounced that ball right by the first baseman.
And that good reputation of speed by Zach Neto forced that quick throw, low throw to first base. House is unable to get to that one. It gets away. Now runner in scoring position for Shohei. Already has 2 hits in the game. And even hit the ball well last at bat for an out to center field.
Huh. Shohei say, why'd you do that?
Does that count as a barrel? Another hard hit ball for Shohei.
Little dribbler. Crawford again with a bounce throw. Ohtani is safe.
Wow. And I think part of it is because of that grass, you want to make sure you get a grip of the baseball. Didn't he? Kind of didn't go through his normal throwing position. See, this is what I always tell, even at the high school level as a pitcher. When you field the baseball, you stay in that low athletic position. When you step back up, it's a different throw on flat surface as compared to the incline of a mound. To stay low as if you're the 5th infielder.
Long bounce for Casas. He couldn't handle it either. It's going to be another error, I'd imagine, on the pitcher, and it is.
3 errors in this inning.
2 of them on the pitcher, Cutter Crawford. So while the Red Sox discuss how not to throw the ball away, we'll have a quick word from Kia.
The turbocharged, tech-inspired Kia Forte.
Been mistakes from both teams now in this series. The Red Sox catching up to the errors the Angels had back in the opening game of this series on Friday. The Angels did not play very fundamentally sound for a couple of days there, but today it's Boston's turn to kick the ball around. The Angels trying to take advantage here in the 6th inning, looking to add to their 4-run lead.
Taylor Ward's been real aggressive over the stretch where he hasn't squared out the baseball as often as we've seen in the past. You just got to be selective here to get something that could drive deep enough in the air. Going back to that throw by Crawford here, as a pitcher, you're the 5th infielder. He fields it low, but then he steps up, stands, and then he makes the throw. If you stay low as if you're an infielder, you're going to have it's a different throw. Flat ground as compared to the incline. Stay low like that, it's a much easier throw to first base.
Ohtani is running the throw down to second. It's in time.
Shohei staying at second base. He's not convinced of that.
Well, he's got those long legs and he slides in feet first. Ray Montgomery went right down to the phone after that play. The Angels will not review this.
Yeah, he got him right on the chest before he got his foot in there. Well, that's a big caught stealing, though.
So now 2 outs. Neto is at 3rd.
Not easy to steal on this, where the bait and dirt is in the infield now.
Taylor Ward, it's a bouncer to Devers. His throw is good, and that retires the side of the 6th. So despite 3 errors, the Angels don't score in the 6th inning.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. Sunday, on the next episode of MLB's Carded, join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game. Right here on MLB Network.
With an Ohtani Trout blanket, courtesy of Nationwide Pet Insurance. The first 25,000 fans will receive a blanket before the Angels take on the A's at 6:30 p.m. Visit angels.com/promotions for more info. It's the bottom of the 6th in Boston. Last game of this series. Angels head to New York after first of 3 with the Yankees tomorrow. We'll see Jose Suarez against Clark Schmidt tomorrow night. Yankees with all sorts of injuries in the rotation. On Wednesday, it'll be Griffin Canning against Johnny Brito. And Thursday, Patrick Sandoval against one of the better Yankee starters, Nestor Cortez.
He have that cut fastball and a lot of them.
Now, Sandoval and Cortez profile pretty similarly, and they're both very tough against left-handed batters. So That'll be an interesting matchup in the finale.
It's going to be fun to see that one.
It'll be Thursday afternoon at Yankee Stadium. Base hit for Refsnyder here in the bottom of the 6th inning. This is the 4th inning of work for Davidson. The Red Sox have their leadoff man on. They'll be at Yankee Stadium tomorrow. Now, if you go on the MLB sites, they're touting it as Shohei Ohtani against Aaron Judge, and they're looking forward to that matchup. The two men who were first and second in MVP voting last year. And Luis Rengifo will be there too. 3-game series starts tomorrow. Here's Yoshida.
Boy, Tucker's been really good so far, but that 0-2 pitch he'd love to have back. Refsnyder, who's got him a chase before, then got a lot of the play. He's able to line out with between short and third. Especially 0-2, you want to make sure you miss out of the strike zone on that one.
2 balls, no strikes. Yoshida won't chase. You really got to throw strikes to this left-handed batter. I would imagine the Angels would want to get just this one more inning out of Davidson before they get to the back end of their bullpen. Yoshida comes up empty on that slider.
He's anticipating a fastball there, got a slider instead. Chase maybe would have been ball 3. And Luke warming up in the bullpen for the Halos.
And the Angels only used Andrew Wentz out of their bullpen yesterday, so they've got a pretty full bullpen available. Two balls, 2 strikes on Masataka Yoshida in his first year at the major league level in the U.S. It's a fly ball to right. But Renfroe waves off Phillips and retires Yoshida 1 away.
Good job getting back, getting that fly ball out by Tucker Davidson. Fell behind 2-0. Had a swing on a slider, maybe out of the strike zone. Eventually works a fly ball, and looks like Phil Nevin's going to go to the bullpen now. Nice job, great job by Tucker Davidson today. When you got Shohei Ohtani on the mound, you're not expecting to be the long guy in this game, but the rain forced that issue.
3 1/3 innings, no runs allowed. Tucker Davidson gets a pat on the back from Phil Nevin. And new pitcher Aaron Luke will be on the mound for the Angels in a moment.
Games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network. This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
What do baseball players love the most about intentional time?
Kevin's highlights, the interviews, the God heaves.
Yes! Intentional time, the show baseball players love to watch, only on MLB Network.
Brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Jack in the Box, 2 tacos for 99 cents online and on the Jack app. The pitcher for the Angels, veteran lefty Aaron Luke. Luke will face Tristan Casas and Kike Hernandez with 1 out and a runner aboard. Tucker Davidson lasting 3 1/3 innings in long relief after Shohei Ohtani got chased by the rain. Ohtani lines one over first, or rather Casas lines one over first. That's a base hit. It's going to be extra bases. Renfroe digs it out of the corner, and the Red Sox have runners on second and third.
Going to be aggressive as a left-handed batter against a lefty, so you're looking in the inner half, you're hoping to get that. It was a little two-seamer that was actually off the plate in. Not an easy play to, on a swing like that, to keep it fair, and he does so for a double.
So Loop in some trouble now. Runners on second and third. Here's Kike Hernandez. It's a fly ball to right center, deep enough to score a run. Phillips makes the catch, tagging from second base. Casas hits for third. Scoring is Refsnyder. And a sacrifice fly for Kike Hernandez makes it a 5-2 Angels lead. Run charged to Davidson, the only run he gives up today. Now here's Reese McGuire. We've talked about the importance of continuing to add on. The Angels haven't scored since the second inning. They did have a chance gifted to them in the sixth inning. Boston committed 3 errors, and it's kind of what we were talking about before. When the Angels make mistakes, they pay for them immediately. The Red Sox didn't in a 3-error inning.
Got to find a way to keep that runner now at third base for Aaron Luke.
Soft bouncer up the first base line, trickling along the line. Luke grabs it, tags McGuire, and drops the ball. He's safe. A run scores.
Making sure that ball was fair. Looks like it's staying fair. Did everything right. You want to make that play. As a pitcher, you feel that and take the throw out of the equation, but on the slide in there, ball pops out of the glove of Aaron Luke.
Luke kind of panicked as that ball looked like was going to stay fair. So the Red Sox get an infield hit. McGuire gets an RBI. Now the Angels lead is 2. Luke could have just picked that up and taken it to the bag. He was still in front of McGuire. He could have just given away to Lamb, who was along the line too. Pitch on the changeup, and it's strike 2 to Arroyo.
And both of them trying to get that baseball before it would roll foul. So he did that part right. But yeah, you take any kind of a throw out, so you just take that and run right to the base. Especially because you're reaching down with your glove.
Hard hit grounder, knocked down by Urshela. Plenty of time to send it across and retire Arroyo. A couple of runs for the Red Sox in the 6th. They get closer as we head to the 7th.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
It's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
Now he goes into his contract year. What do you do with this guy?
Think advanced metrics.
He understands the math and the need for fresh arms.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan. Only on MLB Network.
American League in runs batted in with his 4 driven home today. Yordan Alvarez, Ryan Mountcastle, and Randy Arozarena, the only American League players with more RBIs right now than Renfroe with his 15. And he leads off the 7th. Cutter Crawford is still out there for the Red Sox. He came on after Jose Bello was taken out, or Brayan Bello rather, was taken out back in the 3rd.
Even after a couple errors made by him, he's still putting up some zeros. Curveball after first pitch cutter.
3 errors in the top of the 6th, and the Angels didn't score. So their lead has shrunk now. It's 5-3. Renfroe fights that one off with 2 strikes.
Just try to elevate that fastball to try to get a chase. Now you can almost guarantee he's going to try to throw a breaker ball below the strike zone. See if he can hang it over the plate for Renfroe to make good contact.
Crawford is plenty stretched out. He's already made 2 starts this year for the Red Sox. Kind of knocked out of the rotation with the recent returns, including Bello, Whitlock. Urshela follows, then Lamb here in the 7th.
That was that pitch he wanted, just out in front a little bit on that one. He's hit breaking balls pretty well this season, Hunter Renfroe. That was an odd sound off the bat there on the changeup.
Ball kind of hit off the very end of the bat. Two balls and 2 strikes. The Angels have not done much offensively against the Boston bullpen in this series. Just 2 runs in 15 innings now.
That's a good take. Try to get him to chase a cutter.
There's strike 3 called. So the 3-2 pitch at the bottom of the zone, maybe a little underneath the zone. Good enough to strike out Renfroe.
At 96, pretty tough pitch. I think he was anticipating a breaking ball himself on that. When he read that, just like the cutter to pitch before, you recognize fastball, but you're looking for the break. He was thinking the same thing.
At the end of the batter, Urshela rolls it to Arroyo at second base. 2 quick outs for Crawford here in the 7th. He's only allowed 1 hit over his 4 innings of relief. Jake Lamb had that hit. That was back in the 5th inning. He's 3 for 3 today. He bats here with 2 out and the base is empty. Angels have another lefty up in their bullpen. Looks like Matt Moore. Here it is. Feel like it's set up for Moore, Estevez, and Quijada in the final 3 innings. Backhand pick by Casas in a 1-2-3 inning for Cutter Crawford. Time to stretch at Fenway. 5-3 Angels.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all Wednesdays. This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Spectrum on internet, advanced Wi-Fi and mobile for just $49.99 a month, and by California Community College.
Well done. Should get the Kabuto for that.
I know. Love that. The Renfro with a 3-run home run in the first. Matt Moore now on the mound for the Halos here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
2-run lead for the back end of the Angels bullpen to hold on to. They have not added to the lead since the 2nd inning. They scored 4 in the first, 1 in the 2nd, and that's been it. On the bright side, Matt Moore has been very good for the Angels so far this year. Jarren Duran, the number 9 batter, leads off for Boston.
He's had a good fastball. He's been 94, 96. His curveball, his knuckle curve has been really effective. His changeup has been outstanding.
Two balls, 1 strike on Duran. Tapia and Devers follow, all lefties. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Red Sox. There's Devers. And Alex Verdugo as well. Verdugo not in the lineup today. Three balls and a strike. Speedy man at the plate in Duran. Number 9 batter has not hit much really at any level, especially at the major league level, though he has a double off the wall today. Leadoff walk. Raimel Tapia will be the batter. He has also walked. That was in the 1st inning. The only base runner against Ohtani in his 2 innings before the rain washed out the rest of his start. Ohtani then threw 2 wild pitches, putting Tapia at 3rd. He scored on a groundout. Dangerous man on deck in Devers. This becomes an important hitter for Matt Moore.
A pretty big lead at first.
Tapia chases for strike 1. Duran's got a huge lead. Now Moore ahead of Tapia 0-2.
Matt Moore with 7 pickoffs in his career. 51 stolen bases, 16 caught base stealers.
There's a throw to first. Close, but not in time.
It's a good move, that quick step off throw over instead of the normal one. They're checking in to make sure they're going to look at it. I thought he got back. Going to that back part of the base, a longer tag, especially for a right-handed thrower.
Now Duran's running, and Tapia fouls one off.
It's tough to throw out a base stealer if you guess right against a lefty pitcher, though. So you're going to get a pretty good jump. You're going on first movement.
Average lead is a little over 10 feet. Duran's been getting a 12.5-foot lead here. Angels have made some defensive changes. It's Drury now at first. Duran's running again, and Tapia fouls one off again. Luis Rengifo is now at second base.
You could tell by that reaction from Matt Moore. He knew he got away with that. That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, but it was the heart of the plate and down. So you made your one mistake in an at-bat. Now you make that perfect pitch. You get a swing and miss.
Drury is holding on the runner at first. As Duran continues to get a big lead. He's run on the last two pitches, not running here. And Tapia sends another one into the seats. Duran got a late start, almost a pitch out, throw to second, still not close.
Yeah, almost went. Yeah, there's a pitch out on it, but you still in the pitch out. You want to keep everything as close to possible. You want to elevate the throw a little bit higher. Not a great jump, but exceptional speed.
Tapia swings and misses. He strikes out.
That's a huge strikeout. Keep him at second base. But there is an open base now.
You don't have to be challenging Devers here if you don't want to. Devers doubled off the monster his last time. His 7 homers lead the American League right now, and one of the best slugging third basemen of all time, even though he's just 26 years old. He's going to be a member of the Red Sox for many years to come. He has a 10-year contract that begins next year, worth over $300 million.
Got to vary your look here if you're Matt Moore at second.
A couple of quick strikes. That one just high enough above the zone to get Devers to foul it off.
Once in a while you have that timing play put on at second base. And though it's close to it, Urshela is way off the bag, so it's, if he guesses right, it's going to be a tough throw for Ohtani to third base. So you just got to keep him there as a pitcher. Vary your look.
Neto keeping him close at second. Can't get in that lane behind the bag, remember. Devers out in front, fouled it off.
Blocked by Logan Ohtani on that one. Overthrown, but trying to get him to chase with 2 strikes. Could afford to do so. It's perfect technique as far as keeping the glove down, shifting the body over to keep it in front.
Devers will strike out from time to time. He's averaged about 1 per game so far this year. He's made a lot of contact in this series, a lot of hard contact. He's hit a couple of homers in this series. It's a piece. Devers a 2-time All-Star already. He's been there each of the last 2 seasons.
He's got him leaning out over the plate. If you want to try an up and in fastball, but it's got to be slightly off the plate, that might tie him up.
On 1-2, Devers lays off for ball 2.
Trying to get him to chase a changeup.
Devers has the most extra base hits in the majors dating back to 2019. He's got one today. On 2-2. Devers lines one to center. Phillips right there. He's got it. 2 outs. Tagging up and going to third is Duran, and he beats the throw from Phillips.
It's a big out. Even though Duran was able to advance to third, that's the big out. That's the guy you wanted to get. So dangerous in this lineup. Knuckle curve, it was in the strike zone, lines it, but right at Phillips.
Now Refsnyder, who's done well against left-handed pitching over the course of the last year or so. Refsnyder from Laguna Hills High School. 1 for 3 today with a single and a run scored. This ball bounces toward third. Duran was ready to come down the line, but because it kicked up the third baseline, it kept Duran at third base.
That's right by a home plate area. That's another nice job, at least keeping that close enough and where he cannot score now. Nice job again by Logan O'Hoppe. Twice in this inning.
He has been a big boost for the Angels behind the plate so far this year. Snyder hit the top of that ball right at home plate, and it's 1 ball 1 strike on the Boston left fielder. Now fouled off the foot, and Matt Moore's ahead. 1 ball 2 strikes.
He's kept his focus in this at bat against Refsnyder so far after getting that big out against Devers. Veteran on the mound, and Matt Moore has been a starter, been really solid as a reliever since making that conversion really last year with the Texas Rangers.
Trying to put up a 0 here and keep the Angel lead at 2 into the 8th inning. A 1-2 in the dirt. Another stop by O'Hoppe.
These are one of those stats when you think about it. That's a run saver. Those type of blocks there at home plate. And you're going to talk about a spin on a baseball. It's not a fastball, but there's different spin when it hits the dirt. And there's been a lot of rain, a lot of that dry dirt put down there after a couple rain delays.
Refsnyder with a pop-up. We'll see if it stays in play. Not much foul territory, and Urshela won't have a play. Very little foul territory, especially in that spot as it goes down the left field line. Get on the fans quickly here. So Refsnyder stays alive. It's still 2 balls 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging a liner to center. Phillips there again. He's got it. And the inning is over. Matt Moore sheds a leadoff walk. He keeps the Angels in front by 2 through 7.
When it's about to go down,
this is the story of the night.
MLB Tonight takes you there.
62! How about that?
Big moments, big reactions, and big interviews. Every night, only on MLB Network's MLB Tonight.
Wondering how you stack up? Well, get ready to bring your best stuff to MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run. The official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Sign up for free for a chance to play your way to the 2023 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals at the World Series. Visit pitchhitrun.com today.
Thank you, boys. Here's Brandon Drury leading off in the top of the 8th inning. Cutter Crawford is still out there. Again, a guy who's started a couple of games this year, so not terribly surprising to see Crawford log a lot of innings here for the Red Sox today after Brayan Bello was cut short due to the rain.
So far, he's been really outstanding.
Angels have not scored against Crawford and only managed 2 runs against Red Sox relievers in this series. In a span of 16 and a third innings now.
Quijada getting warmed up now. Another lefty.
2 left-handers up for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 8th. Here's an easy out for Tapia to retire Drury. Angels have only had 1 hit off Crawford. Lamb singled in the 5th. No Trout, no Rendon today. They shook it off early, scoring 4 runs in the 1st. And tacked on 1 in the 2nd. They have not tacked on any since. There's Ohtani 1 for 3. He had a base hit in the 1st inning.
He's always been following up his curveball with a cutter. See if he does the same pattern. Hope one of those cutters is elevated enough, especially against Ohtani.
Well, that is his name after all.
I know. I was going to say it's almost mandatory to throw a cutter if your name's Cutter.
There's good names for a pitcher, like Cutter Crawford. And there's bad names for a pitcher like Bob Walk.
Yeah, that's probably not a great one for a pitcher.
Not Aaron Bummer of the White Sox.
Throws hard though.
High pop-up. Casas in foul territory. 2 down. Phillips 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He'll be the batter here.
Pretty good pitch. If he gets a hold of that, it's going to go a long way. He's got some power when he makes good contact, Phillips. To make contact here. He can make a play.
Phillips strikes out. That ends the top of the 8th. Another perfect inning for the Red Sox reliever.
The next generation of baseball has arrived.
And I am here for it.
Keep an eye on the new faces of baseball on Off Base, the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It's all about things you haven't seen before.
Only on MLB Network. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Eighth inning, it is Jose Quijada. He'll face the middle of the Boston order. It's Yoshida, Casas, and then Kike Hernandez due up against Quijada, who's been excellent so far in 5 appearances. He's only allowed 1 hit.
Fastball, we know that. He's going to throw a lot of four-seam fastballs upstairs. You see Mike Trout in the dugout, 94, 96. So his changeup more than he will his slider, but his fastball, especially upper third and above that, a lot of swing and misses.
A couple of saves. We've seen Phil Nevin kind of switch around how he uses both Quijada and Estevez based on the matchups of that moment. He likes Quijada here in the 8th. We'll likely see Estevez in the 9th, assuming the Angels still have a lead then. It's 5-3. Masataka Yoshida's 0 for 2. Flied out his last time, which was significant because he entered this series with a 71% ground ball rate to start the year. He's hit a lot of ground balls. Good pitch from Quijada. Fastball on the outer edge to make it 1-2.
Looked like he dropped down a little bit of an arm angle there to be able to get that fastball downstairs. That was at 92. Still get some time when you're doing stuff on the mound to make sure it's good as far as landing spot.
Yoshida late, but fouls it off.
Not quite that 95, 96 yet for Quijada. 92, 93.
Bouncing ball to second. Renjifo's got it with a backhand. 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th.
There's that ground ball you were asking about, Wayne.
Speak it into existence.
Yeah,
we're not jinxing anything here.
No, when you get that 71%, you know there's a good shot. You get a ground ball, and you got it. Playing the odds.
Quijada coaching himself as he waits for Tristan Casas to stand in. Casas doubled and scored his last time. Angels have led since a 4-run first. One's up and in to Casas. Quijada goes with the breaking ball to make it 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good to see him throw that slider. Do it a lot in spring training to get a better feel for that third pitch.
Certainly had Casas fooled, and now he's ahead of him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kike Hernandez on deck. Get through this inning unscathed. Now you have the bottom of the order then due up in the 9th inning. You could stay away from Devers even batting again in this series. If you play your cards right here in the last 2 innings.
That's got to be your goal. Try to get him to elevate and chase out of the strike zone on that 93. Casas was thinking he was going to get a slider.
Battle continues with Casas falling off another.
I hope he doesn't get cheated on his swing.
Casas able to stay alive. Continues to foul off some good pitches. That one a slider.
Exactly right on that one. That was a real good slider, especially a fastball, the exact same plane and spot. In the outside corner, he was able to foul that one off.
Now a high fly. Easy for Phillips. In a few steps, 2 away. It's an 8-pitch at bat. But Quijada got the result he needed, and now Kike Hernandez. Hernandez, the former Dodger, his dad was a scout. Also a coach in the Puerto Rican Winter League. Kike was the bat boy. Alex Cora played on that team in Caguas that Kike's dad was a bat boy for.
Justin Turner, on deck circle. Batter you want to get.
Turner and Verdugo are lurking on that Boston bench. There's a liner to the gap in left center. This one's going to bang off the wall. Phillips gets to it quickly and will hold Hernandez to a single. Look at that throw from Phillips. Now Justin Turner will bat for Reese McGuire.
It's a lot of the plate, lower part of the strike zone, and he was on it. Great play by Phillips to keep a force play at second base in order.
Phillips really showing off that arm. Just a one-hop line drive into second base to keep Kike at first. So Turner hit his first home run with the Red Sox yesterday. It looks like Quijada wants some work done to the mound here. It's been a wet day. It hasn't really rained in the last couple of hours. But it rained a lot this morning into this afternoon. We've had a couple of long rain delays. And Jose Quijada not satisfied with the mound. We've seen him kind of kicking at it throughout this inning.
Looks like he's stretching his back too and his follow through. You know, he's got that high energy delivery where he lands at a lot of his body weight and then spins around.
So the grounds crew will come back out and try to satisfy what Quijada wants done to his landing spot. It gives Justin Turner some pause. Turner's wife Courtney running in the Boston Marathon today as part of the Red Sox Foundation's team. Former Red Sox players Ryan Dempster and Brock Holt also running in the Boston Marathon today.
No conversation now on the mound.
Matt Wise is coming out. Looks like he is bringing someone with him who
Manny
can.
Del Campo who could translate.
Manny Del Campo will act as an interpreter here for Quijada and Wise.
Because you have 7 pitchers in this game on that mound, and especially with the new dirt put on there during the course of the day with the rain delays. So you have everyone landing on different spots. And the clay on that mound different than it was to start the game. That when they put that other dirt on there, it's a little bit looser than the original mound.
It's been a long day here. This game was supposed to start 5 hours ago. Started after about 54-minute delay, and then there was an hour and 25-minute delay within the game. The Angels are trying to at least get out of Boston with 1 win. Couple of mistakes on Friday led to a loss. Same with Saturday. It's a well-pitched game yesterday that Boston pulled out 2-1. Today the Angels, despite losing Shohei Ohtani due to a long rain delay after he pitched just 2 innings, he has stayed in the game as the DH, but as far as his pitching goes, only a couple of innings. The Halos had a 4-run first, and they're trying to hold on. They've been trying to hold on ever since. To this point they have. Here's Turner batting in the catcher McGuire's spot. Always a masher against left-handed pitching facing Jose Quijada. Turner after the first pitch. It's a high fly, pretty deep, straightaway center. Phillips at the wall makes the catch. Turner just missed, hit it to one of the deeper spots of Fenway, and a long, loud fly out ends the 8th. We'll head to the 9th inning. The Angels.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Hey fans, I'm breaking down MLB Play. I think they're the best MLB games. Now my personal favorite, Beat the Streak. Pick who you'll think will get a hit, building your own streak. It's all on you, baby. You can win $5.6 million. The streak's alive! Next up, Pickle. Guess the player in the fewest number of tries. Got him! And there's other games like Bingo, a race to be first. Bingo! MLB Play. Great games, great prizes, and it's all free. No purchase necessary. Restrictions apply. See official rules and enter at MLB.com/play. Oh yeah!
It's the 9th inning at Fenway, and the Angels have had the lead all day long since the top of the first, and they scored 4 runs. The Red Sox have bit into it a little bit. Justin Turner, a little scare into the Angels with a long fly out to center to end the bottom of the 8th inning, but it's still 5-3, and it's the top of the 9th, at the top of the order due up. Zach Neto will face Cutter Crawford, who came on after the rain delay and hasn't left.
Well, the way he's thrown, I don't blame Alex Cora for keeping him out there. He's been solid. Just hit 63 pitches thrown now.
He's very efficient. He's been out there for 5 1/3 innings. He has not allowed a run, only 1 hit.
This is the one. This is what the guy you need on base right here, Zach Neto, with his speed.
Been on base a couple of times. He had his first big league hit in the 2nd. He has scored a run. Angels would love an insurance run or 2 here in the 9th inning. Carlos Estevez is warming up in the Angels bullpen. Boston has their 8, 9, and 1 batters due up in the bottom of the 9th. They do have Alex Verdugo available on their bench. The Angels just hoping they don't see Devers, at least in a spot where he can hurt you to tie or win the game. Ohtani's on deck. Neto with a high pop-up. It's going to stay in play down the right field line for Tapia. 1 out here in the top of the 9th.
Shohei with all that power, but when you look at throughout his career, especially the last 3 seasons, on that first pitch, that's where he's doing a lot of his damage. He gets that pitch in the strike zone, that's where the damage is done.
Set a couple of home runs in this ballpark over the years. There's a drive toward right center, hit pretty well, moving after it. Duran in the gap, he's got it. Two outs. Here's Taylor Ward. Ward's had a tough day at the plate, 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run. Flied out as a pinch hitter yesterday. His only hit in this series was on Friday. Otherwise, it's been a scuffle here for Taylor Ward. 1 for 14. Angels trying to win this game without Trout and Rendon in the lineup today. So maybe you could see those guys if Something happened where extra innings were needed at this point. Ward strikes out. Tough series for him offensively. We'll see if Carlos Estevez can hold the lead for the Angels in the bottom of the ninth. It is 5.
This game is for you, the fan. You want the action to flow, the bat on the ball and carrying on the base paths.
This is the game we all want to see.
Get the ball, pitch the ball. Keep the defense on their toes. Field like Ozzie, run like Ricky. So get that shift out of here. Free up the players to put on a show. It's the best game in the world. Now it's even better.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
An opportunity for Carlos Estevez to be able to close this one out and pick up this last victory of a tough 4-game set here against the Red Sox. The Angels have led this from the get-go with 4 in the first, lead 5-3 here in the 9th inning.
Estevez looking for his second save. There's Alex Verdugo. He will lead things off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. He's a pinch hitter for Christian Arroyo. Then it's Jaron Duran and Raimel Tapia, all left-handed batters. And then Devers a lefty if anybody gets on. Of course, Estevez would prefer to just see Devers at Angel Stadium next month.
Yes, that's the goal. And a good changeup too for Estevez. Works perfectly with these left-handed batters.
Here's Verdugo, not in the lineup today, batting in place of Arroyo. Red Sox best bench options today, Verdugo and Turner. The only man they have left on their bench is Yu Chang. They've already used Connor Wong as the other catcher as well after Turner hit from McGuire. Verdugo has been batting leadoff for the Red Sox. He's the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 9th.
He counts that one timeout now.
Ripped into right center, base hit Verdugo. The leadoff man on for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 9th. The tying run will come to the plate.
Missed his spot here. Has ended up being fastball down. Actually, with a changeup, it drifted. Looked like he wanted to have that go down and away. It went almost like a cutter in on his changeup.
Here's Duran, who's had a good day at the plate, doubled in the 5th, walked in the 7th. His first day back in the big leagues. Estevez pumps in a strike. Tapia's on deck, then Devers.
Obviously, a very difficult batter to get a double play from.
Neto is close to the bag at second in double play depth. Rochelle is in close at third. Angels trying to win one here at Fenway. They lost the first 3. Off to Yankee Stadium tomorrow for the first of a 3-game set there. There's a strike, called a strike, 97 from Estevez.
That's a late movement to it.
Jarren Duran calls for time. And Estevez ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Give up a leadoff hit to Verdugo. Duran stays alive. Red Sox have struck out 7 times today, but they've had a lot of long at bats. Fouled off a lot of pitches today. Missed, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Duran.
That's a pretty good take, especially after getting a called strike on it early in the sequence.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big out for Estevez. He strikes out Duran, and there's 1 away.
Came back with another fastball. That one at 98 miles an hour. And little movement too, and the foul tip hung on by Logan O'Hoppe.
So now it's Tapia. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts today. Another guy with pretty good speed. Would be tough to double up. Now Estevez kicking at some dirt on the mound. Sakihana asked for some help with his landing spot in the 8th inning. Looks like Estevez getting a little chunk of clay in there right now. Rafael Devers is on deck. Two balls, no strikes on Tapia. Man, you have to get plenty of danger lurking in the on-deck circle with Rafael Devers. Ball 3 to Raimel Tapia.
Imagine there's at least a take of 1 pitch to Tapia here, if not 2.
There's a strike. Verdugo leading off this inning with a base hit. Makes it a little bit more agonizing for Estevez and the Angels and the fans. And there's ball 4 to Raimel Tapia. And here comes Rafael Devers representing the winning run. Dreary rainy day here in Boston. They're expecting a sellout here. Certainly not many of that expected sellout are here right now. And it's a boisterous crowd that remains here in Boston today. And Rafael Devers has a chance to make the folks that did stick around real happy. As he bats with Verdugo at second, the tying run Tapia at first, and Devers represents the winning run at the plate.
Got a little hit into a double play on occasion. 14 of them last year, 13 the year before.
Foul behind home plate. Devers upset that he missed a pitch he thought was pretty hittable.
Because that's that lower part of the strike zone. Even though it's a firm, hard fastball 97, that's the lower part of the zone, a dangerous spot.
Line drive, base hit for Devers. Verdugo will be waved to the plate. The tying run Tapia's at second, and the Red Sox down by only 1.
There's a changeup, the heart of the plate, missed spot. Nice play though by Renfroe to get it in quick enough to make sure you keep Tapia at second.
Matt Wise giving some instructions and trying to pump up Estevez. There's Kenley Jansen in case there's a 10th inning. The Red Sox have runners on first and second. Rob Refsnyder is due up. Refsnyder entering today against right-handed pitching. 0 for 9. Grounded out in his only plate appearance today against a right-hander, Ohtani. So he's 0 for 10 this season against right-handers as he faces Carlos Estevez. A good double play target too is Refsnyder. Doesn't have great speed. Tying run at second, winning run at first. Ball 1 to Refsnyder. Ball 2.
Well, this becomes an so important pitch now for Carlos Estevez.
Nobody's up in the Angels bullpen. This is going to be Estevez to the finish line here in the bottom of the 9th. The 19 pitches, 10 out of the strike zone. Ball 4 here would load the bases. It's 3-0. There's a strike to make it 3-1. Tapia runs well at second. Devers just okay speed at first. Last arm in the Angels outfield. Phillips in center. A foul from Refsnyder makes it 3-2. Don't forget Renfroe, a great arm as well in right field.
Had to challenge him. He did so hard to the plate. 96. Got to trust your defense here.
On 3-2. Refsnyder swings and misses. Strike 3. A big second out for Carlos Estevez. He blows the fastball by Refsnyder.
Yes, 3 straight firm fastballs. That one upstairs, chased it. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Still work to be done here, though.
It's Masataka Yoshida. He's 0 for 3. There's strike 1. Yoshida walked back in the 4th inning. It's his only time on base today. He's been out most of the last week with a hamstring injury. One just missed. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. So Ohtani looking on. He started on the mound today. Lasted only a couple of innings. The rain pushed him out early. The Angels trying to hold on anyway. They lead 5-4 in the bottom of the 9th. 2 out and 2 on. And Yoshida fouls one off for strike 2. The Angels desperately trying to win 1 here in Boston before they head to New York. Trying to salvage the finale of this 4-game series. Carlos Estevez looking for the save. On 1-2. Yoshida pops it up. It's on the infield. Urshela's calling for it. Say goodnight to the Red Sox. The Angels win. The finale of the series, a close one. But the Angels survive it. Carlos Estevez gives up a run in the bottom of the 9th, but he strands 2. And the Angels beat Boston on Patriots Day 5-4.
Nice job of coming back. 3-0 count. Come back for a strikeout. Hunter Renfroe. What a big game. 4 RBIs, 3-run home run. Shohei Ohtani, a couple hits. Started out real well, but the rain stopped Shohei's dominance on the mound after a couple of strikeouts in the 2nd inning with that sweeper. But that's a big victory to be able to hold that one. Not without a little stress, but big victory there. Renfroe, what a job today. Jake Lamb with 3 hits himself, so enough offense. And congratulations to Zach Neto getting his first major league hit today.
Yeah, who needs fingernails anyway?
It's overrated. Oh, wow. Always interesting in this ballpark over the years for the Halos, and it certainly was today.
There have been a lot of interesting moments here and a lot of battles between these two teams, despite being on different coasts. They've really had to fight against each other quite a bit, especially in the postseason. But here, in an important game for the Angels, avoiding being swept. They scored 4 runs in the top of the first inning. Hunter Renfroe hit a 3-run homer. And as part of the second inning, when the Angels got another run, it was Zach Neto, our Toyota player of the game, with his first big league hit and run scored. He's with Erica Weston right now.
Wayne, thanks very much. Zach, congratulations. Your first hit in Major League Baseball. You take a big exhale when you got on base?
That's right, yeah. You know, it was the monkey off my shoulders, you know. I've been battling in there to get that first hit, you know, just put the ball in play, and, you know, one finally dropped, and now things are rolling.
They certainly are. How much were you looking forward to getting the wheels going once you got on base?
Oh, I mean, my adrenaline was pumping, you know. Made sure he told me, hey, keep you at 70%, let your adrenaline take the rest. So I was trying to keep cool over there, and then next thing I know, Ohtani's hitting a line driver at me. So, you know, first and third, that's what we practice on, and that's what I did.
They need to get you a new helmet. That thing was flying off out there.
Yeah, you know, over-under on this is going to be pretty expensive, but, you know, I'm going to try to get a new, tighter helmet, and, you know, just if it falls off, you know, it's just the game, you know, so.
Certainly is. Last one for you. Logan O'Hoppe, your former minor league roommate. How special is it sharing this moment with him today?
Oh, it was awesome, you know, being able to get that first hit, score my first run, and seeing him last in the dugout, you know, I couldn't stop smiling when I walked in. I couldn't stop smiling now. So, you know, getting on the win column, you know, be able to give him a high five right there at the end of the game and give him that big hug after my first hit, you know, it was awesome.
Congratulations. Keep smiling. Nice job today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Well, Zach Neto feeling good after his first big league hit. The Angels get to go to New York after a win here at Fenway.
That's a big victory. What a game to hold on to there. And Shohei Ohtani had it going, and Hunter Renfroe, big game, 4 RBIs for Hunter Renfroe on that swing.
Angels beat the Red Sox 5-4. For Mark Kubica and Erica Weston and our entire crew, they had to get up early in California today. I'm Wayne Randazzo. We say so long from Fenway. The Angels top the Red Sox 5-4. Angels Live postgame is now.